And we are live on Kojak's. Charlie hiding over there.
No, I'm not hiding.
You're not even close.
I'm not even hiding.
Are you going to put Chris in the picture?
Oh, we were going to get Chris in the picture. Man, we were way over here today. There's Chris.
Final table time. Millionaire Maker event. This was a $150 event, and we have 6 competitors.
6 players remaining. Chips in play. There are some salty old grinders out there. There's one redhead, and there's people looking for her chips.
That's right. We've got 6 left. We have 49 entries for this $150 Millionaire Maker. We have 2 tickets taken. We're giving away. The top 2 players will be getting a $2,500 ticket, which is a $1,500 entry into event number 54, I believe, for the Millionaire Maker, and $1,000 travel money.
Hey, I'm gonna if I was to win this, I would have to take that $1,000 travel money, put it on midnight on craps table, and hit it and get paid 30-1. But for these players, they actually have the shot to become a millionaire. 2 of them.
Yep, that tournament is a guaranteed million, and you would have monies to put on craps, but I eat a lot, so. That would be going towards food and hotel for me. But yeah, it's $1,000 to these players for the travel expenses plus the buy-in to the guaranteed $1 million first place tournament in Vegas. And I believe day one's on that at the end of June. I think June 21st.
They have 3 or 4 day ones.
Yep, June 21st, I believe, is the first day one. So 2 players out of these 6 that are remaining will be headed to Vegas, courtesy of their efforts at Kojak's.
And we have, 6 other players joining them that will be playing multiple events. And then also next week, we've got something special that we just ran last week.
Yep. This coming Thursday, we're going to do our last main event tournament.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. We sent 2 players to the main event, and they both enjoy $10,000 packages plus $2,000 travel fee. And then these 2 players will be joining with their $2,500 package, including a $1,000 travel fee. It is going to be some exciting time, and the players look like they're just about ready to go.
Yep, and let's go ahead and we'll switch over to the table here before we get started to introduce the players. You saw him 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Or was it last week?
It was last week.
Last week, Jordan is going to be in the 3 seat there, starting out with 169,500 in chips. Seat number 4, that's Kelly. You all know her, the GM here at Kojak's. She's on the shorter side. Real life height and chip stack, 40,500 chips. Next to her, Bobby, he snuck in to one of the flights with 29,000 in chips. Christopher is the next one over, a pretty decent stack of 113,000 in chips, followed by Matthew, 82,000 in chips, and George, rounding out the field in seat number 8 with 301,000, a almost 2-to-1 chip lead on the rest of the field.
Now the thing about George is not only does he have a massive chip lead on the field, he's also got a ton of tournament experience when it comes to the WSOP. His Hendon mob, if you're bored, you want to look him up. He's got a healthy Hendon mob.
Fantastic. Well, he's in a good position here. Again, these 6 players are only playing down to 2. You only need 2 players, and the tournament is over because we have 2 packages to give away. And third place is 880, and Kelly is going to put it all in firsthand.
That did not take long. Yep. She said, ship it, let's win it. And Big Red is all in. So now action's over on Wiggins.
Yep, we are getting the graphics to catch up here, so we will get to see maybe not what she woke up with in the very first hand.
And you can see everybody's already interested. They're looking for a quick knockout just so that they can climb that ladder. 6 players competing for 2 packages. Third place takes home over $800.
$880, I believe it is, for third place. Basically, in these Vegas Series events here at Kojak's, we divide the prize pool by the cost of the package and give away as many as we can. And in this one, we ended up with a $5,880 prize pool, so we have 2 tickets to give away.
2 tickets to Paradise. 2 people are going to be having fun. A chance at $1 million guaranteed for first place.
That's it.
But you know it's going to be bigger.
Oh, it's guaranteed to be bigger. All of them are fantastic events at the World Series. Too many people for me, but lots of people there in Vegas, but it is a guarantee to first place $1 million. So one of these players will be, or 2 of these players will be vying for $1 million. And it's George, and it looks like Jordan did call Kelly.
Ace. It looks like ace king, and Kelly's got pocket nines.
Like I said, this is the first hand. Kind of jumped into it ahead of what we got going here, but we will hopefully be able to say something in it. I would assume pocket nines. Yep, king queen pocket nines.
That's a
No
little
help.
loose call for this early in the tournament.
Yeah.
Jack, king, or queen, and Kelly survives. Two pair aces and nines.
So she is immediately going to be able to double up first hand. That's got to feel good.
She came in ready to go, didn't
That's
she?
right. That's right. The blinds are
Blinds are 500, 1,000.
I believe they're 515. 511. Okay. 5,000, 1,000, 1,000. So these were short flights. That's why the chip stacks are where they are. So everybody's got a little bit of room to play.
And that's the whole point of the way the structure was set up, is to give them room so that they're not forced at all ends at all points in times. We have three denominations of chips in play. We have 500s, 1,000s, and 5,000s in play. And as the stacks dwindle down, we will soon eliminate the 500 chip. So if you're out looking for some poker today, Kojak's just opened up a 5 on the button table on table number 1, and we just paged a fresh 1-2 table for table number 2. Excuse me.
Sunday cash games at Kojak's have been really good the last few weeks. I've really kind of more of a laid back scene, 1-2s, multiple 1-2 tables. Of course, the standard 5 on the button table, but definitely not like last night. Last night I was running around crazy.
It was a lot of fun last night. We had 2 5 on the buttons, a 1-2, and 10 on the button round of each. And
10 to 25.
10 to 25. They got even dirtier.
Yep.
And here we go. We're moving on around to hand number 2.
And we do apologize, but the cards will be showing up soon on the computer screen there. In the box, we have dealer Kevin. Some of you know him from San Angelo, the River League, and some of you know him from here at Kojak's. He deals at both. Lucky guy. Dealing at this final table of this event. I think Jordan is in the same seat he was in the last time he was on stream when he won that ticket. I believe he won one of our tickets earlier this month for the Monster Stack event. Looks like Christopher going to raise it up there in the big blind. Again, the graphics will be showing up soon. Jordan going to lay the bet down, called by Matthew. Again, these 6 players made it in the top 10% rounded up in one of the 3 flights on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. We actually had one more qualifier, but unfortunately they were eliminated as the final hand concluded. 2 people were eliminated in that final hand of the flight, and so that's why we only have 6 instead of 7 qualifiers for the top 2 tickets. And as rare as that sounds to happen, it's actually happened twice this month, where we had multi-way all-ins and the chip leader amongst all of them won the hand and knocked out multiple opponents on the bubble. So the last qualifying position was actually eliminated with no chips left. But these 6 players made it down to the top 10% rounded up of their flights to come back today. And they are playing for 2 tickets to the Millionaire Maker event in Las Vegas, a $1,500 ticket plus $1,000 travel expenses money. Looks like Kelly is going to be raising this one up. Bobby reaching for chips on the button. And a quick all in and fold by Kelly there. So Bobby going to pick up some chips there on the button.
Oh, that's a big pickup for Bobby. He
Yep.
was already short stack. Started with what, 29,000?
He was the shortest stack at the table. Kelly got the early double up courtesy of Jordan there. So the short stacks are the only ones growing right now.
That's ideally that's how they want it to happen. Now flip the side around. Your Georges, your Chris, your Jordans, they're looking for the short stacks to be knocked out really fast.
Right. Like I said, we are only looking forward to, and we will have the graphics on here any hand here soon.
Bobby looking around, thinking what he can do, and he just is. Unfortunately, he's not able to do anything with that. And like we said, these players are fighting. I mean, no matter how big or how small the chip stacks are, they're fighting for these seats. They played this tournament to head to Vegas. That's their goal.
Yeah, and they only paid $150 to be in the tournament that they're in, and a $2,500 package, $1,000 travel money, and a $1,500 event for $150.
And next week it gets even juicier because it's $200 for a $12,000 package.
Yeah, the same thing we did last week. We're doing it again this Thursday. So we'll have 4 flights Thursday, Friday, and 2 on Saturday. So if you haven't yet, this is the week. This is the best opportunity. Probably the cheapest way to get to Vegas that I know of.
Man, if my bosses weren't so mean, I'd be sitting at that table playing with them also. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I'd be sitting at the day 1 tables playing with them, commentating on day 2 because I just couldn't make it.
Oh, you never know. You never know. But no, we had fantastic. Gave away 2 main event seats last week, and I hope to do it again this week. Looks like we have a raise there out of Christopher George coming along.
3-way action.
On that 3 ways to the turn. A 10, so some mystery hands, so we could have some flush draws, some straight draws.
Maybe some boats. Ace 10, I see Ace 10 being 100% in play here. Jordan was in here yesterday, and he did not have a cast on his arm.
No.
A sling, excuse me.
That's new. That's new. So, maybe he got started his Memorial Day weekend fun a little earlier than the rest of us, because that's usually what happens. He's going to continue the aggression and take this hand down on the turn, so he is going to improve his chip stack, courtesy of Christopher and George there.
Kevin got that nice little fade going on his head. we don't get many pictures from the front. None of the camera views really grab them from the front. We just can tell who they are by their haircuts. I mean, if one of us was in the tables, nobody would know the difference.
Is that like a Patrick Mahomes thing he's trying to develop there?
Pretty close. He's going to be out there listening to us talk about his little Mahomes fade.
A great deal. Like I said, deals at the River League in San Angelo and here at Kojak's in Midland. Travels back and forth.
We've got a couple dealers that do that now. Help us out on the weekends when it gets busy. Grateful for all the dealers we have, but out there for you guys listening, we always are looking for help. So if you know anybody that can pitch some cards pretty decently, send them in. We can work with them. Always looking to expand our team.
Looking to expand the team anywhere in the state.
Yes.
I promise. If you know anybody in the state, we've got somewhere they can work close by. I can almost guarantee it. Jordan can lead out again on this flop, keeping up the aggression with that chip stack. George is going to come along, though.
I like Chris's shirt sitting in seat number 6. Make your own luck.
That's right. It's definitely good advice in poker. If you're waiting on the cards, you're not going to be waiting very long.
Kelly showing off those chip shuffling skills while she doesn't have any cards. She's doubled up. She's cruising a little bit right now. She's got, what, 73 big blinds?
Yep, but she doubled up, so she's got to feel a lot better than she did before the start of the tournament.
You never like to shove all ins with 9s and get called just like that.
Yeah, just right off the very first hand, just a short duration on stream or a double up. So Jordan betting a little heavier here, and George still going to come along. So we're going to see a river card here. Board pairing 9. No straights, no flushes. A lot of aces in play. Aces and 9s, and what kicker here?
Jordan thinking about it long and hard. I know I would have difficulty at the poker table if I'm used to shuffling chips with both hands, looking at cards with both hands, because it's difficult to look at your cards one-handed.
Well, hopefully he's right-handed.
That looks like a healthy bet.
Yeah, he's going to bet pretty big there on the river. So, but there weren't many draws left out there, so I think this is going to come down to a kicker war. And if George thinks that he can outkick Jordan, but he's going to make that call, so we're going to see it. And there is the graphics there.
George with the 5-3.
Well, it looks like George raised it up and Jordan folded.
And as I tell you, 5-3 is the best hand in poker.
So I'm
He takes it home with a Charlie special.
For your sake, I'll just say that was what he actually had there, and not just the first graphic screw up. And give you your 5.
Give me my 5-3. Let me have it. If you're in the chat, you know Charlie's favorite hand. You know if I'm at the table and there's a 5 and a 3 on the flop, I guarantee you I have it, and I'm going to bet it like I got it. And George just bet it like it was aces.
Yeah, but that was definitely a case of George not believing Jordan there, if that was the case, and having the chips to be able to do it. And props to Jordan for not having any fear of the chip leader at the table. And we welcome the graphics into hand 7 here at this final table.
So Christopher King 5 in the muck, Matt Queen 8 in the muck. George looks down at Queen Deuce, and he is 5-3 Queen Deuce. He's playing his chip stack.
That's definitely right. I mean, it's 2 ways to play it. He can sit back and do nothing and just wait for the field to thin out since we're only playing to 2. Or he can put those chips to work and put some pressure on some of these shorter stacks. Problem is he's pressuring the only other guy that's close to him.
That's got chips with him.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect flop. George raises pre-flop. He's most likely going to c-bet here. I can see Jordan checking, and George going to look down at his cards. He's got that professional look to him. You know how they always double check when you're watching the big streams.
Make sure that he has a heart, but this one's just for show. I think he knows he doesn't have a heart. But Jordan going to come along with the middle pair just as non-believing as he did earlier. So we'll see if
bottom pair versus top pair.
Yeah, we'll see if George,
or mid pair.
See if George gives some of those chips back to Jordan that he got him off the last hand.
So I think George can continue here. He's calculating how much, what's in the pot. 11.
About a pot size bet there of 10,000 into 11,000, and like I said, Jordan with third pair now, but he maybe could be putting George on just a heart draw. That's it.
Speaking of Bass Pro Shop, one's coming to the Permian Basin.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. One of the biggest ones in the state of Texas, I believe.
There you go. So Jordan is going to lay it down and believe George after all. So Jordan definitely down from where he was, puts him right about the 100,000 mark, putting him right where Matthew and Christopher both are. Kelly a little behind that at 71,000, and Bobby still up from where he was, but still down at 36,500 in chips, with George the commanding chip leader at 340,000. He's I think we only had 700 something thousand.
739, I believe.
Yeah, so he's got over the or right at half the chips in play in his stack.
Christopher's been card dead so far. He's going to look down and not going to like this.
No, still not been able to play anything yet out of Christopher. But he's, from what I've watched roaming around the room during the tournament, he seems like a patient guy. So
George actually had to reach around to seat 9 to stack his chips up in it now.
yeah. And going to raise this up with 3 deuce of spades.
These two are not afraid to battle tonight, are they?
No, Jordan wants those chips back.
Did they qualify in the same flight? I can't remember that.
No. Jordan qualified with Kelly in flight A.
But he did have some play with George in the main event last week.
That or even flight B. I think they were both in the same flight on Friday.
So Bobby's able to sneak in just with a check of his big blind, and George actually picks up the best of this flop with the lowest 2 cards in the game.
I mean, that's been the story so far for George and Jordan, just playing the bottom or the second from the bottom pair as if they are top. But he's definitely going to be able to pick up this pot here after Jordan folding and Bobby letting that one go. So George is still on a roll.
George hadn't gotten much cards, but he's made the plays at the proper time.
Well, and that's how you want to play that. When you have such a commanding chip lead, it's one of 2 things. You either go have a sandwich out on the card room floor and just let them all play, or you use it to lean into those players. And they're playing for a package to Las Vegas for $1 million guaranteed first place tournament. So none of these players want to be the first one out right now. So I think good on George to just go ahead and lean into the field.
And that's what he does here, 65, and he's got raisin chips in his hand.
Yeah, eventually somebody's going to call him out for being a non-believer, so he's going to have to pick up some cards here pretty quick to be able to continue the bully look there. Christopher going to defend his big blind, Jack 6 suited. They both share a card. Christopher way ahead, but can't imagine that he is. They both pick up bottom pair.
George is going to continue here, and I can see, well, no matter what I say, they always do the opposite. I was going to say I can see Chris following along, but he chooses not this time, so that's, what, 4 in a row for George?
Yeah, they're still believing that George has that ace. Been an ace on most of the flops, and still give him credit for it. Like I said, it's going to last for a little while.
That's what I was going to say. About at what point in time does somebody re-raise him?
You know, normally I would say any time now, but again, given the prize that they're playing for, that they had to play really well and took a lot of hours to get here, it may take a little bit longer than usual for somebody to start standing up to that chip leader. But like I said, good on George for recognizing the position. And
that's experience.
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said, he has Hindenmob back up his play. And he's going to pick up a real hand now and going to raise it up to 2,500.
Same raise as the other ones.
Yep. Keeping his wide range in check. Jordan with a pretty Jack 10.
110 winning the muck also.
Yep. So
this could be the hand where Jordan actually stands up and says, "Hey, that's enough."
Yep. If George completely whiffs here, Jordan should pick up or Jordan just flops the joint and it's not going to matter.
The open-ended straight flush draw.
And top pair for George. 6-handed, not bad, and he's going to slow play his top pair. Jordan is not going to slow play his straight flush and flush. He's going to bet a small bet of 2,000, and that's definitely going to keep George in play. I think no matter what this turn is, Jordan needs to go ahead and swing for the fences, and that is the perfect turn that changes nothing.
George leads out.
Yeah, I think if your opponent can call that flop, you might as well go ahead and try to get max value from him at this point.
Oh, he checked in a motion that looked like he put chips out there.
Yeah, he 3,500 and raised by George. That's Jordan's not a guy that folds the third nut flush.
With even bigger draws.
Yeah, with outs.
How crazy that? Yeah, I have the third nut flush with outs.
Yeah.
To the stone cold nut flush.
Yeah. And did you raise him back? It looks
Yes,
like
he
you
is.
re-raised him back. So yeah, I don't hate it. You know, like let him go ahead and call you off. And if he's got the queen or ace high flush, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But I don't think George can continue here. That is a 3 bet to 43.5, uh, and that's a bet that cuts a lot of the other stacks in the table in half. So it's not for an
Or
insignificant
even eliminates one of them.
yeah. So I mean, it's not an insignificant bet.
And George, it looks like he's going to call. At this point,
He
when you're Jordan,
Interesting. Now, what do you do if you're Jordan? Jordan has position in the hand, and I think if George checks this here, I don't think there's any value to get if you're Jordan in your mind. I think it just goes check check here, and Jordan picks up a massive pot. But I could be wrong. George did check it for the third time. He check raised on the turn. Jordan shipped it, and George called because there was not enough behind there to fold it. So, yeah, I guess that's true. He got maximum value. Uh, Jordan's better than I am. I couldn't have bet that river there just knowing that he's going to call no matter what,
right?
but also that he's not going to call that turn without a very good hand. So, big swing there for Jordan. Knocks George down to still the chip leader with 250,000 in chips.
And now he's got to use his one good hand to stack up that mountain of chips that he just earned.
Yeah, it takes a little while there for Jordan to stack chips right now.
Yes. And you know, at that point that Jordan made that bet on the river, when he bets on the turn and George makes a call like that, you've got to think that he's got you've got to hope he's got the ace and not the queen, because that's one of your outs that you're looking for. But it just becomes a scary point to even shove the river there.
Yeah, and oof. I mean, you just know that George is going to call you pretty much no matter what, just because of the pot odds. He only had 50,000 more to call, and he'd already put in almost 70 into the pot. But I don't know. I just feel like that you might have got coolered at that point if you're Jordan, and you just try to check it down and take that pot. But
The rest of the table is just kind of sitting back, letting the George Jordan battle continue.
why not? I mean, you're playing for top two, and
The top two are battling.
the top two are battling. So sit back and wait your turn.
So George does pick up a big hand here. Top pair. Jordan picks up bottom pair, and here they go again.
Christopher tried to come along, get in the mix, and unable to hit that flop. George calls the $3,500 bet. Can Jordan pick up some outs? And
Yes, he did.
So he picks up a heart draw.
Check, check real
And
fast.
Big, yep. So George here, I don't know if Jordan will call off much here.
And George bets perfect,
But
10,000.
He bet the pot. So yeah, Jordan going to go ahead and let that hand go. So gives a little bit back to George, not much, but he was still finishing stacking those chips. That's all it was. They weren't real yet. He could play them.
That is a unspoken poker rule. If they're not stacked, they're playable chips.
They're still playable. That's right. They're not locked up yet. And Kevin steps out of the box, and we have Whitney, who is also a Kojaks and River League dealer. Back and forth, thanks to these River League dealers in San Angelo. Coming over to Midland, about an hour and a half trip.
I know the players last night, they really enjoyed having Whitney in the room.
She did a fantastic job dealing. There was four cash tables at one point yesterday.
Yes, yes.
So
if you're looking for cash action, Kojaks has cash action already started. But if you're looking for some tournament play over at CCC, starting at 4:35 p.m. today, they've got their $120 no limit hold'em freeze out. Or sorry,
well, it's PLO.
Yes.
PLO freeze out.
yes, they've got their. Sorry, I read that wrong. They've got their PLO freeze out starting at 4:35 today. So if you're in it for some tournament action and you didn't qualify for this, look at this.
Yep. This is
Two pair versus set, and
a lot of good turn cards for Christopher, but depends on. He bet 4,500. Christopher's sitting here with 87,000 in chips behind. Yeah, he's definitely going to make this call here. No, he raised him. Oh, no. Imagine
So if you're
top
George,
set chip leader and somebody raising into you.
you got to re-raise.
No, he just smooths it. There's a lot of draws
Oh, a
out there.
6 would be horrible for Chris.
Yeah, there's an ace. So, but George immediately checks over, and Christopher's just going to keep pumping money into this pot.
He noticed how fast Chris made that call. He gave him the option to let him dig his own grave on this.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, if you're George, do you go ahead and swing for the fences now, hoping your opponent picked up an ace there? Yeah, that's what he does. He looks like he bet enough to possibly put him all in, close to it, if not.
28,000 more to call. That's what did Chris start this hand with? 60,000.
Yeah, it was a lot of pink chips there stacked up. It's going to be for a majority, if not odds. Basically, effectively, all-in call for Christopher, and I just don't think he's going to be able to make this call. There's too many ace-x of spades that call that flop and just bink the ace. No, he doesn't care.
And a snap call.
Woof. And Christopher will see that he is drawing dead. Tough timing there for Christopher.
And the king does it. Christopher's run at the Millionaire Maker ticket is over, and George is now going to be back in the positive. His chip stack is on the green.
Yep. In fact, Restarver still a major chip leader, but he'd given some back to Jordan there. But and you know, if you're Christopher and you've seen these two guys at the end of the table, you know, spar back and forth, and they haven't really shown down much, and haven't shown just any kind of monster hands. You know, you could think that George was just getting out of line there and thinking that your pair is best.
Absolutely. And look how quick he stacked those chips up. Oh, my goodness.
No,
He's ready to win.
tournament player.
Yeah, look at that. I mean,
Tournament
perfect stacks, 20s.
Yeah, it's a. He's got a 350. So yeah, he's back up to that 50% of the chips in play mode here, followed behind Jordan with just under 200,000. Matthew finally picking up a real hand here. And it looks like he raised it up 2-3. And George, this isn't fair, Charlie.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
This is just not fair. And it looks like he just smooth called here.
Because he's been pushing so much.
Oh, no. He grabbed some pink chips
Okay.
in there. He went ahead and did raise a little bit, 8,500. Jordan and Kelly going to get out of the way. And
It's not fair when the aggressor picks
the
up
guy,
cards.
Yeah, the guy that's just been throwing the chips around.
He's won 6 of the last 7 hands.
How about top
Flop set back to back.
Top set twice.
Oh, my gosh.
He's going to go ahead and obviously check here. There's a king. It does bring a heart, but
He can't check here.
Can't check it anymore. But the problem is Matthew is going to call a lot of bets here, depending on the sizing. George doesn't go too big. I'd like to see about a 12, 13. Yep, 12 exactly.
George is really good with his bet sizing.
He's a tournament player for sure. And Matthew just can't automatically gift him hearts, thinking that king could be best.
Oh, that's scare card check.
That's going to save Matthew some chips here and keep George from betting too much. I don't think George can bet here too often of the time, so he may just have to go ahead and show this down. Unfortunately, what a strong hand it is.
Oh, Matthew actually laughs at it.
Laughs at his hand, yeah. So, yeah, I think George made the absolute maximum in that hand.
It's just not fair when the chip leader cards just run him over like an 18-wheeler.
Back to back. Top set back to back.
I wonder what the you know the odds of getting aces 1 in 221, and as it goes, I wonder what the odds of getting flopping top set back to back are.
It's a doozy, I guarantee you that. And twice within 13 hands is not close to that math. So Matthew finally picks up a hand. Unfortunately, runs into the aces of the chip leader, and he is down to 66,000 in chips, putting him right at third place, tied with Kelly. And then Bobby needing to make a move here with just right around 30,000 in chips. George finally decides to fold a hand, give his arm a rest from shipping chips. Jordan with the ace, going to raise it up to 4,000 here. Bobby in the big blind, already mostly invested. Go ahead and calling off the extra 2,500 to see a flop. Needing to pick up a 10 or a 6, and unfortunately misses everyone. Queen 3-3.
I would love to see Bobby ship it right there, because if not, Jordan's going to bet it.
Yeah, Bobby's just going to go ahead and let that go. And Jordan going to pick up some chips there.
So as we move around, Jordan's pushing that 200,000 chip marker, and George is pushing in on the 400,000 chip marker. So that's 600 of the 730,000 chips are now in 2 stacks.
And we're only playing for two spots. So
one of those players should be putting pressure every hand.
You would think so. You would think so. Basil in the chat, really wanted to see you at this final table there, Basil. Made a good run on
What a
Friday
luck box.
night. Yeah, he made a good run. I believe on Friday got pretty close. And got it in with queens against another player's pocket 5s.
Oh.
And unfortunately a 5 right off the rip.
Poker's so sick, isn't it, Basil? Poker's so sick. I did come in yesterday, and I went to write our push down on the tablet that we have up there, and I saw a G to a G. Somebody drew a nice little character up there saying "Poker's so sick" on our dealer push board. Basil, would you know anybody who might have done that? Look at this. Kelly picks up pocket 8s, the snowman.
Yep. And Jordan with the gut shot. Bobby flopping a second pair.
They've got each other's outs, don't they?
Yep. And if Jordan bets this, Kelly may get away from it, but yeah, he's going to make a very check here. So Kelly going to check that back very well. I was wondering if she was going to continue up some pressure there, turn it up on the button on the turn. Bobby going to bet out his second pair now. Only made it 5,000. Jordan's got a lot of chips in the chamber. Could call out for a gut shot here, but he chooses not to.
The good news is it does look like he's right-handed because he's able to shuffle the chips with his right hand.
So, yeah.
So Bobby picks up some well-needed chips. He's back up to 36,000. Just went through the blinds, and now with blinds being 500, 1,500, 1,500, he's got 15 big blinds, a little over.
I'm still in the 10 bigs category. I know you guys talk about big blinds, but I count the ante.
Oh, man! Somebody in the chat, let's school this guy up. Let's school him up.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, oh, he's got 20 bigs. No, you have 10. The big blind ante. It's double the big blind. Why are you not counting it?
It's not double. It is double. I mean, math is perfect, and mathematically it is double. So here we go. Jordan looks down to ace 9. He's going to play that. Kelly pushes queen 7 in the muck. Bobby 9-7. That's 2 7s gone, 1 9 gone. 4-3 and the battle does not continue.
Yep. George finally letting one go, not choosing to tussle with Jordan. He was good, perfectly good. No problem. Like I said, you've got 370,000 in chips. Jordan got 200,000, and everybody else has 60,000 or less. So there's really no need to get involved much at all. But luckily, he's been able to show two top sets. So his table image isn't just complete maniac. He's definitely had some cards to be able to show, to maintain, so when he does decide to push again, it won't be just seen as blind aggression.
And nobody but George can pick up cards today.
Yep. And speaking of which, there it is, King Jack dominating the King 8 of Jordan. Looks like he's reaching for raising chips here to see how much. Does Jordan
4,500
want to defend his big blind with? No, he does not. Good fold there by Jordan. He doesn't want to tussle either with the chip leader anymore.
So that's got to get frustrating. George, we're on hand 17 of the finals, and I bet you George has raised probably 12 of them, which he should. Holding the chips that he does, he should raise those.
Well, it's showing that his VPIP, we can't show it on the screen just yet, but it's 56%. So him and Jordan have been doing all the raising pre-flop, and but like I said, as expected, but it does make sense because Jordan was the aggressor as well in a couple
That's right.
of those. So
here we go. Bobby, King, Queen. This is his first hand that he's picked up. Right behind him, Matthew looks down at the Basil, the Jack 10. So Bobby does make the raise. Oh,
And this chip leader just continues
the Jordan show continues.
to get beaten up by the deck here. Gonna 3-bet this to 18,000. Bobby's gonna ship it in and see that he is in bad shape, hoping that George just had a pocket pair of
The
jacks
good
or
the good
less.
news is I did not see any queens go into the muck.
That is true.
So they are still alive in this deck, and Bobby's on life support.
Yep, gonna need lots of spades or a queen here. Dealer Whitney collecting the chips.
That's a little bigger table than she's used to dealing on, being a 10-handed table, a little wider.
Yep, like I said, her feet don't touch the floor.
That's why she was scooting with her hips.
So a queen or a lot of spades, no help there to Bobby.
Looking for a queen and a queen only now.
No help on the turn.
And just like that, Bobby eliminated fourth place. Or fifth place, sorry.
The rich get richer. George picking up a few chips there to put him over the 400,000 mark. 416,000 now for George. When the chip leader gets the cards, it's tough to fight. So then there were 4. So this is technically the bubble.
Yes, this is the bubble.
We have, like I said, the 2 packages to give away for this Millionaire Maker event, but we had some cash left over in the prize pool, and that will go to third place, 880.
And then first and second place walk out with Vegas in mind.
That's it.
You ever seen Vegas Vacation?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's when I walk into a casino, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm Chevy Chase, ready to go. Get him some milk. It's crazy. What's up, Mr. Mims? My favorite thing to drink milk with, Mr. Mims, is chocolate cake. Can't get enough chocolate cake, can't get enough milk.
I have not had chocolate chip cookies and milk in
Oh, Oreos and milk sound good today.
20 years.
Yes, Oreos and milk are on the agenda today. George raises it up with another king queen.
Picks up some blinds there, keeping the pressure on the shorter stacks.
Yeah, Zach agrees. Is it an Oreo cookie kind of day? Is it a cookie or a cake Oreo? They say cookies on the package.
I wouldn't know where to get any of that stuff.
Oh, Fig Newtons. Is that a thing or not? Do you like Fig Newtons?
I feel like I've had them before, but I can't remember.
Oh, shame on you. Fig Newtons are the bomb, especially if you can find the strawberry ones back from when we were kids, back in the 1900s.
Back when I had hair.
Yes.
Hand number 20 on the bubble. Jordan picking up ace jack offsuit. Kelly looking at a good looking hand for the button. Could see some chips come in. Jordan's going to raise it up to 3,500, and Kelly is reaching for a lot of chips there. Looks like she just called. Really looked like she was stacking them up there to move along. And George, pocket change for him for an extra 2,000 in the big blind. So we're going to go 3 ways to a flop. King, 6 kings. Gin flop for Kelly, and George looks like he's going to bet it out for her. So good flop here for Kelly. Some well-timed luck. Like George checks, Jordan's going to continue here for 7,500. Now, how good is Kelly's acting job here? She can't look too eager. She can't look too eager, so that looks like a call. And George here.
George has to know that he's got to be in third place at this point, which he's actually in second place. But
yeah, you don't want to get. It's hard to do much of anything when Kelly has flatted behind on Jordan here. She's going to have a king or spades too many of the times, and he's going to wisely let that one go and not feed the shorter stacks too many chips.
you know, he's out of all the plays he's made today, he's made one wrong play. That was that call, but he had to call.
Yeah, there just wasn't much enough for him to get it full. Jordan going to slow down here. Kelly, quick check back. No spade on the river, so that might get another bet out of Jordan in Kelly's favor here, just in case Jordan had it on that she could be on a spade draw, and that's exactly what happens here. He's going to make a smallish bet here of 8,000, 9,000, and so Kelly's going to raise that up, as she would at 20, and immediately gone by Jordan there. So
She wanted the call.
she got maximum value,
Yes.
maximum value out of that hand with two other players that did not have anything at all. Some well-timed checks to disguise her hand as best as she could, and a good pickup there by Kelly, putting her at 87,000. Matthew, the short stack at the table, with 59,000. So that gives her a little bit of breathing room above the bubble. Again, the third place person here that doesn't get a ticket to Vegas gets 880.
Hey, that's almost a buy-in in this tournament.
Almost.
Almost a buy-in.
Oh, in the Millionaire Maker.
Yes, yes.
Let's
That's
say this
almost
is only
a
a
buy-in.
$150 tournament. What are you talking about? Yeah, each of these players only paid $150 to play in this tournament to win a $2,500 package to Vegas.
Let's see what George picks up in the George show today. Jack Deuce, the Choctaw Nuts.
Just goes ahead and lets Jordan have a walk there. So,
No, he's in it.
no? Oh,
Yeah,
he was showing him change from the, okay.
Jordan picks up bottom pair, backdoor spade draw, the only spade out there. Check, king on the turn. I think George will bet this.
No, pot's too small to get too crazy. And Jordan just makes a min bet, and good enough for George to go ahead and fold that down. So blind versus blind, the two big stacks against two stacks that are combined won't equal one of their stacks. No real reason to draw blood anymore between these two, and so I don't know if we're going to see too much action.
And Zach, what exactly is a Cakester Oreo? You have to let me know because I am an Oreo fanatic. I'll do a line about every week of Oreos. And biggest pet peeve when it comes to Oreos is when my son does not seal the package and they become stale. And oh man, you want to see?
It's when you need the milk.
Yes, you want to see somebody angry is when my Oreos get stale.
As we get into hand number 21, I will eat, what is it, the cookies and cream ice cream with the
Yes.
Oreos in it. I will eat that until the cows come home, but I will not eat Oreos just by themselves.
Why?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the video where they take the Oreos and smash them up and put some milk in them and bake them or cook them in the microwave and make a brownie?
I would probably eat that, but not an Oreo plain. George going to raise it up with ace king, no takers anywhere else, so his
Shocker.
run good still continues.
Would you rather run good in the middle of a tournament or run good at the final table?
No, you're always want to run good at the final table.
Yes, I have never run good at a final table. I get some crazy run good in the middle of the tournament, build up a chip stack, sit down at the final table, and it's like they just slap me.
Yeah, well, and several times over the years now, I've played a lot of poker, obviously, and been one of the chip leaders at a final table, and I always tend to fall into that trap of getting just good enough cards to call some of the short stacks on their all-ins. You wake up with king, queen, ace, queen, and a short stack. It maybe cost you a 10th of your chips or a 6th of your chips at the best, and you just lose those coin flips. Then all of a sudden, you're not the chip leader anymore.
And it happens just like that. I mean, it's incredible how fast it happens.
How about ace, king again for George? Holy Toledo.
All right, so bring me one, Zach. I want one. But how about this? How many hands can George pick up monsters? Over, under in the chat. We're on hand number 23, and it's just
We've
incredible.
seen aces, two flop sets.
Oh.
Oh no for Matthew here, but he doesn't push.
That's experience also right there.
Yeah, no, he did. Never mind. But that's okay. It's good moves on both parts. Oh man, the chip leader just continued to be showered with good cards. Matthew here looking to dodge an ace or a king.
And he does it so far.
So good.
No worries about clubs. Neither player holds a club. A 3 on the turn. George has 5 outs.
Misses it.
And
So,
for the second time tonight,
yeah,
George has not won
that's
a showdown.
yeah, that's just was just hoping that for Matthew's sake that George just wouldn't continue to knock everyone out of the tournament within the first hour.
Oh, that's right. He's knocked 2 out.
Yeah, and so a great hold there by Matthew. His patience, waiting for hands, in these first 23 hands of this tournament picks up a decent hand to go all in with. I say decent because jacks scare the crud out of me.
I hate jacks. The only time I like jacks is when the flop comes with 2 of them.
Yeah. But they hold as they should. And gets a very, very much needed double to put him over the 100,000 chip mark, 117,000. Kelly, now the short stack had 83,000. Blinds are 515 and 15 ante. So there's still some time to play for these guys. They don't have to push anything they see, but moves are going to be made by Kelly and Matthews still to catch up to these monster chip stacks.
But the way the structure was built, they've got plenty of time to do it. Blinds are 30 minutes starting on day 2, and there's plenty of, I love this word that's not a word, playability.
Playability. No, it's a word. Yes. George, pocket pair of 8s. Okay.
Do we have a laughing sound on the soundboard?
Yeah,
Because it's just incredible.
No, just
I mean, it should be just that right
yeah,
there.
just completely run over with chips. I love it. I love it.
And so George looks down at pocket 8s. He makes a raise, and unfortunately, nobody can make that call. He tends to be getting all the cards on the table, and they are set up for him to roll with it. And as we take a quick peek in the commentator booth, we got Miss Whitney from the River League joining us, and we've got oh, that's the backpack. I'm on the wrong side. We can slide the camera just around a bit, and that's Mr. Chris Gwynn Sharon helping us out over in the IT land to make this possible. And as we flip around, I can't. She's not mic'd up, but I would love to hear. How was here? Grab this real quick. You can say hi to everybody out here. How was your experience dealing last night?
Oh, it was great.
We had 4 games running. We had 2-5 on the buttons. We had 1-2 no limit hold'em, and we had a 10 to 25 on the button round of each. That game gets crazy up at Kojak's, doesn't it?
It was very crazy. Lots of action, lots of just friendly banter, and
They know how to perfectly dig at each other, don't they?
oh yeah.
Oh, so let's flip around back over here. Thank you for joining me right here. But how is it dealing at the table? At
Great.
this final table?
I mean, all the players know exactly what they're doing, paying attention. I mean, the hands, very tough situation.
George is getting run over, isn't he?
He is.
he picks up aces, ace king, pocket 8s. I mean, just everything in his hand. And for once in this hand right here, he is not tied up, and it is between Matthew and Jordan. Matthew makes a bet, and Jordan lets it go, and the cards don't even have to be shown. So we're already at hand number 25, and we just started an hour ago. And when you get on the live stream like this, look at that. Who's that dealer? They know how to wash them cards. Look at that.
That's right.
It's weird to watch yourself deal, isn't it?
It is.
But don't tell us if anybody gets knocked out, because we're giving away 2 packages. And I always hate it when Chris pokes me back there and says, hey, somebody just went out. But, yeah, so like we said earlier, everybody go Red. It's time to make the moves, and that's right. Red is setting in. She goes by Red because of that red hair. And she is sitting with about 80,000 chips, and 80,500 to be exact. She is in 4th place of the 4 players here. Matthew's just right ahead of her with 116,000, Jordan with 175,000, and George with 359,500. And Matthew makes this call under the gun with ace 4 suited. George says, I'm gonna play along also, but we're gonna make it for a little bit more. Looks like he put 5,500 in there. Jordan and Kelly both fold, and I can see Matthew making this call. George says, I want my chips back. I had ace king, you had pocket jacks. That's never supposed to win, but it did hold up, and now we're gonna go heads up to the flop. Once again, ace 4 suited versus king 8 off suit. Whitney's gonna throw us a flop there. Flop comes out, diamond, diamond, just what Matthew needed, but no help for George. Diamonds, are they really a lady's best friend?
Absolutely.
And George tosses in a little bet, 4,000. Matthew makes the snap. He's got the nut flush draw. George is looking for a king or an 8 or anything that he can bet. Matthew actually picks up a few more outs. All the threes help him. He's in the lead right now, ace high. But he's not only down to diamonds or an ace, he's actually looking for a 3 as an assist. 15,000 or 18,500 is the bet, and Matthew makes the call. And the river card comes out, a 10. That's no help. So Matthew is in the lead here. But the thing is, George has bet the whole way. Another bet right there would have won it. But he decides to surrender, and he sees that another bet would have won that one. And Matthew says, what did you have?
Yeah, actually here he asked me, this isn't going to be like live or anything or like online. And I was like, actually, yes. All of this is online, and you can find all our streams online.
Yes, so they're all on YouTube or Facebook land. And you can subscribe, you can follow us, you can see the action live. So these 4 players, these are the 4 that are left. These 4 players are vowing for 2 seats to the Millionaire Maker, which is guaranteed $1 million to first place. It's a $1,500 buy-in tournament. We've got 2 packages. One package, or one of each of the packages, is a $1,500 entry and $1,000 travel expense out there, and third place is going to walk away with $880. And the nice thing about that is the buy-in was $150 to this, so it's definitely a great return on the investment.
It's not as good as first or second, but it's better than nothing for sure.
It is better than nothing. And 2 players. Oh, I thought Kelly looked down at 10 something of clubs also. I was going to say that's a lot of clubs out there.
Yep.
So Matthew, Jordan, and George, 3-way action heading to the flop. 5 deuce clubs, ace 4 clubs, and king queen of offsuits. Flop comes out 6 clubs, 4 diamonds, jack of diamonds. That is actually not bad. Jordan flops bottom pair. George is going to continue looking for a 3 for the straight. And I think Jordan's going to make this call. They've had some battling history left and right. And for the first, I guess, 6, 7 hands, it was only Jordan and George playing. So here goes the call. No, that was raising chips. Yes, raised to 13,500, and it goes snap, snap, fold, fold. And just like that, Jordan picks up some more chips, adds to a stack. Started that hand with a little under 175,000, now at 188,000. And remember, with 730,000 chips in play, George holds 323,000. Jordan holds almost 190,000. And Kelly and Matthew setting with the remainder of the chips in the stack. It's time for Kelly to make a move. But when we say it's time for her to make a move, she's got plenty of big blinds. Big blinds 1,500 with a 1,500 big blind ante. She's got 80,000 chips. That leaves plenty of big blinds there. Reese calculates the big blind ante in there. I don't, but
yeah.
it should be.
It definitely costs a lot more when you have to pay double.
Yes. So one more look at the dealer going right now. Miss Whitney is going to head back out and possibly go back in to let them see. Thank you so much, girl.
Thanks for having me.
And here we go. Hand number 27. As you see, 8,000 chips already in the pot. 1,500 or 500, 1,500, 1,500, and the action is there. And as you can see, George holds 320,000 chips. And it looks like he's cruising. He's been picking up some monster hands. Mr. Reese, join us back in there. Let Miss Whitney come say hi to everybody.
Saw that. But how is she dealing at the same time as talking to you?
Man, we are effectively time travelers.
We are on a 15-minute delay. Everything you see happened 15 minutes ago. That's the way all live streams work pretty much anywhere. Just so everyone knows the security measures that are in place for the tournament. The bald and the beautiful guys are locked in a closet.
Yes, we are. So if you see one of us walk by on the camera out there, that was 15 minutes ago. So we are time travelers.
Jordan picked up a real hand here. Kelly going to call with her ace-5 offsuit. Matthew, dealer button, wanting to play that button, goes ahead and calls. George going to call. So that means going to give the door open here for Jordan to make a pretty big squeeze here with the ace-jack suited. And the look there from Kelly. It's going to be a pretty big percentage of her chips to make this call. She knows Jordan can do this with any 2 cards, but she's got 2 people behind her, so good fold there. And the squeeze play is going to get through as planned from Jordan there, so he's going to take down that pot pre-flop. Now, the reason I stepped away is I got a quick phone call. Over at the River League in San Angelo, today is flight D of the main event ticket. Yeah, they're at the River League. They are doing the tournament that we did last week, where the winner will get a $12,000 package to the World Series of Poker main event for this year. And it's over there, it's $150 to enter, though. It's cheaper than it is here.
Oh, don't tell us that.
They are playing Flight D as we speak in San Angelo. So if you are tuned in listening to this final table here at Kojak's and you are in the San Angelo area, you still have a little bit of time, it looks like, to get into Flight D for only $150 to win a $12,000 package to the main event in Las Vegas.
Big Red looking down at 2 red cards.
Two
I
cards.
like how George moved his chip stacks into seat 9, and Matthew said, I can do that too. I'm going to move my chip stack into
The
seat
big
6.
Stack over there, you go. So a lot of nothing for both, except, well, no, Jordan got second pair. They're going to check it over to Kelly. Kelly does pick up a pair, which is no good to Jordan. So, but Jordan going to go ahead and bet here, and depending on how much, yeah, Kelly didn't think long about it.
Looks
So
like 7,000 into a
7,000, yeah. So makes that call. It's got to make Jordan feel a little bit uneasy, but I don't think she would have checked a king that long. So you may see a bet out of Jordan here of about 10,000 to really put the pressure onto Kelly.
So she's going to get a free look at the showdown.
Go check. Then. So he's going to show the 10, and Kelly is going to have to muck her cards on that one. So Jordan's going to pick up some more chips, putting him over the 200,000 chip mark. Looks like Matthew made some moves while I was on the phone.
Yes. Were you here for the jacks?
I was.
Okay. Yeah, that was the move.
Okay, so it made it up to 141 from that.
Yes.
So he's back to patient mode, which is needed in tournaments. Good on him.
And he looks calm, cool, and relaxed.
Oh, yeah. There's only 4 left. One more person's going to walk out of here with nothing. Unfortunately, we are on the bubble, but the third place is going to get $880 in cash, and the top 2 will both get a ticket to Las Vegas.
I would have really liked to see George versus Jordan in that hand. They both had 9-3.
See if Jordan going to raise it up on the button there, just playing his position against the tighter stacks. But Matthew's going to wake up with a real hand here and going to defend this and 3-bet to 10,000. I love it.
And that's going to end it.
Yeah, great 3-bet there by Matthew, not to come along and let Jordan catch much of anything.
And this is probably my weakness at these tables right there, because I would have called that. I would have tried to, just make him think I have a suited connector, nothing big, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And he says, no, if you want to win, you've got to beat the 2 cards I have in my hand.
Yeah, but I'm just one of those guys that think if I do that with ace queen, the flop comes ace 9-3.
Yes.
Jordan just flops 2 pair.
And you flop top pair, second kicker.
But, I was having a discussion with a couple different players about this. All the cash games we have here at Kojak's, at San Angelo, you don't see 3-betting pre-flop very much in the cash games anymore.
No, there's a lot of raise calls.
They joke around about Texas heads up, in for 2, in for 20.
Yes, and 7 ways.
Yeah, and but you don't see a lot of 3-betting in cash games anymore.
The 3-betting that we see here are when you hit that 10 on the button in bigger game, then you start to see more of the 3-bets. But in the 5 on the button in the 1-2 game, it's I was watching it last night on the 1-2 table on table number 2, and it was raised to 15 and 8 callers.
Oh yeah, it's kind of an undervalued move these days. George going to bet his second pair. Matthew checked his king jack with a king high flop. Sneaky check there to induce a bet out of Jordan with his second pair. He's going to look back to see if he has any kind of outs. Needs some runners. No, Matthew raised it up, so the check raise. So that's 2 good moves out of Matthew there. The 3-bet and then the check raise.
And he gets the call.
Yeah, Jordan's going to continue on here. So that's going to send Few alarm bells there for Matthew. If a spade comes out, doesn't quite
George's hand
yet,
got stronger,
but
though.
George did pick up more equity, so he's definitely not going to fold. Matthew's gonna if he's gonna put him on a spade draw here, which is plausibly what you can put him on there. No, he checked it to him, so it's gonna go check check, and the spade does come out. That I don't think Matthew's gonna lose anything in this hand because the spade did get there, so he can put him on spades pretty easily. But little does he know that he got there the hard way. Yeah, it's just spades every time here. So Matthew losing the minimum on George's run good.
And George does not give information that is not paid for.
No. He's a tournament expertise.
I wonder what he's telling them right there. I wonder if
he's-
he's saying, "Oh, I had spades."
Yeah, he's trying to extract the information there, but I bet he's not giving any of it up.
Matthew's newer to Kojaks. He's been playing a bunch of the tournaments, and very good tournament player himself. And little does he know, he's got another very good tournament player sitting right next to him.
Yeah. You don't, if you're not from Texas or around this area and you come to a place like, Midland, Odessa, Kojaks, you would never know that there are WSOP bracelet winning, Hendon Mob ranked mass. I mean, it's incredible.
Yes.
Here in West Texas, how many truly advanced poker players there are and accomplished poker players on the national scene.
Last summer and all the way through this year, I mean, there's 7 or 8 of our players that have binked big tournaments.
Oh, yeah, all over the country.
Yes.
And George just continuing to flop gin here with 2 pair, and Jordan's got just enough to bet out a little bit. Some really good turn cards for George.
Matthew's got enough to make the call.
Yeah, Matthews, he's going to go ahead and fish for the gut shot there for only 3,000. He's got the spare chips to put in there.
George says, no calling.
Yep, George went ahead and raised that up, and I like it. I do like it. Just go ahead. There's not many good turn cards for George. And
I would say at this point that it looks like George is just being a bully, but the problem is every time George is being a bully, he's got the hand.
and what he has been able to show were monsters. So
Yes.
His image is pretty confusing at the table right now for sure.
It's like, how does this guy have it every single time?
Oh,
But
yeah.
then they call him and he flips it over. Oh, just nothing but top set. Nothing but top set.
Just top set, pocket pair, ace king, something. So he goes ahead and takes that hand right there. And Kelly in the big blind now, needing to pick up some hands pretty quick. Down to 64,000 in chips with blinds at 5 and 15 and 30-minute levels. We've been playing at this level for a while, so it should be going up soon. And first to hack on this hand 33. Matthew go ahead and folding it away. George does not wake up with an ace king or a pocket pair, but
He'll just flop 2 pair.
yeah, that's all. He did it with 10-6. He can say I can do it with 10-9.
10-9 is much better. But Kelly picks up a hand in the big blind.
And I'm curious to see how she will play this one here. I'm thinking a flat. Yeah, she's just going to go ahead and see a flop with this hand. Again, George's range can be pretty wide there on the button. Having the button and the chip stack.
George is done.
She's going to flop best. And I don't think George is going to try to push her around too much. She's going to lead this out, and I think he's probably just going to immediately fold.
So she bets a little over the full pot.
Yeah, that's what he does, and just goes ahead and lets that one go. So just playing his chip stack.
Wearing that Aria jacket. You see that?
Yeah.
Tells you where he plays a lot, doesn't it? It's neat to watch how the players stack their chips. Kelly's got just the one tower.
Just straight up, and Jordan lining the rail.
Matthew's got his chips to the side, but he's got his shuffling chips over the pinks that are over the 20 count, and he's got his purples over there.
And George with the tournament stack there, put the big chips in front, all nice and 20 stacks, all lined up, just like you would in any tournament.
He started off the night shuffling his pink chips because he had 50,000 in pinks to the side, and now he's got so many yellows.
Yeah.
He's shuffling those.
Yep. Jordan going to 3-bet there. Just talking about 3-bet, and then here we go. So, which is, four-handed is strong. It's pretty strong to 3-bet four-handed. Even though you should be opening up your range to 3-bet when it's short play, but these guys perceive it as much more. Dealer Kevin in the box.
That's another one of them San Angelo natives.
San Angelo River League dealers migrating here and there over to Kojaks to help us out here. And we do appreciate it. They've been doing a fantastic job. I think Whitney was here till 7 in the morning, or better, last night, or this morning, whatever you want to call it. We had quite a few cash tables and lots of cash action last night here at Kojaks. Jordan's going to raise up a lonely ace here. George with a pocket pair. Shocked there's not a deuce.
Shocked there's not a deuce, an ace, or an 8.
But he's going to pick up open-ended here. They're going to need to share.
He does not want to hit a set now.
Share the outs. Does not want to see a deuce. And I don't know if Jordan can continue here. Bet 45, which isn't a lot given the chip stacks, but you're only hoping for an ace or a deuce.
It's a great sizing considered 16,000 in the stack, 1-4 size.
So he is going to push it along here. So an ace on the river could cost Jordan a lot of chips. But it does come a 9. So George is going to be best here with the deuces.
I think he still bets it, though.
It's plausible. The backdoor spades did come home. So he's not going to bet much.
3,000?
Was that, yeah, just pretty much a min bet there.
That's so tricky because that's a pay me off, you know.
Yeah, and Jordan going to fire back at him here. So I do like it. So he is going to go ahead and represent those spades.
I can see George calling, though.
It's plausible. I mean, they've had a lot of action. They do know each other very, very well. And he only raised him 9,000.
So it's 9,000 for 48,000.
Yeah, so he's getting pretty good odds, but I don't hate the fold. That's the heroest of hero calls that I've seen if he were to have called that down. So Jordan going to get the best of George on that one. And I expect there to be much, much more to follow. But that's going to put Jordan at 223,000 in chips, George at 319. So 500 and almost 40,000 in chips between them, and there's only 730,000 chips in play.
Wow.
So Kelly still a short stack at 69,000. Matthew with the good double up with the jacks puts him at 123,000 still, losing the minimum earlier with the top pair. In a battle of the big stack blinds, George wants to see a flop. Jordan says, let's put a little more in there. I've got an ace.
Yes.
Short-handed, you got to do it. And George's going to come along there. I thought he might shift gears completely there and just not get much more involved, but he still wants to see it.
Yep. And when you're playing at such a short-handed table, it's hard enough to flop a pair. It is hard enough to flop a pair. And just like that, George's run good continues insane. Flop comes out king, jack 4. George holds king 4. Top bottom pair, Jordan has ace 3. And George actually checked that. Sneaky check. Jordan leads out with 4,500, and George is going with a check raise just like what happened a while ago. Blind.
George with the top pair, raising it up to 12,000. Jordan may posture here a little bit and go ahead and fold this down. But he does go ahead and make the call. So what do I know? These guys are just playing
If
poker.
I've learned anything from doing the Kojaks live stream, whatever you say they're going to do, if you want them to do the opposite, watch this. I'm going to start doing this. Now that Jordan has picked up that pair, George is going to check, meaning he's going to bet, and Jordan's going to raise, meaning he's going to call.
Well, George is going to lead out still with his 2 pair, try to get some value, 16,000. Jordan picks up a pair, but if you called him on the flop and you improved on the turn,
And you know their hand did not improve.
yeah, you can't think that 3 would help him in any shape, form, or fashion.
And if the players, I've always said this, we should put a little board up out there that says 11% and 89%, and they wouldn't know where they stood. They wouldn't know if they were golden. Just no names, no nothing. Just put, one player's at 89%, one player's at
They
11%.
wouldn't have any idea, but he does let it go finally. And so George, with his typical good hand, picking up more chips there.
Could you imagine having 2 pair and there's a possibility that you're the 11%?
No, it happens. Maybe not on that board, but definitely it could be. King 4 against King Jack. I'm not even sure that would be 11% anymore. I guess it would be.
So here we are, already at hand number 36. These are going by quick.
It is going by quick, and we've had 2 eliminations.
Bobby Martin and Christopher Wiggin.
Bested a field into the 10% to get to this final table, day 2. Just like these 4 players did, got into the 10% in one of the 3 flights. It was only $150 to play in to win a $2,500 package to Las Vegas to the Millionaire Maker event.
And Kelly just laughed. She wants to play a hand. You can tell.
And she did. She's defending the big blind with the Jack 7 suited, and she's going to pick up a heart draw.
And Jordan picks up middle pair. Again, he's picked up middle pair quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, and 4-handed, I don't mind even betting out middle pair, bottom pair. It's hard to make a pair in poker.
Not only does Kelly have the heart, she's got any jack to be in the lead.
Yeah. So check on the turn, and there is the Jack.
Check.
I don't think she's going to be able to bet this hand. Oh, she does. I'm telling you, whatever we speak goes opposite. But I like the bet. That pair of jacks is good on that board against Jordan quite a bit. Jordan taking the sling off. Must be getting warm in there, starting to hand chips out.
Uh-oh. But I do like this. You look at the 4 players remaining, and all 4 players are up on their chip stacks coming in from what they started with.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's shown little glimmers here and there of excellent play. Nobody's gotten out of line. Nobody's made any true missteps out of these 4 players. So we got George first to act here, looking at Queen 8 suited. Looked like he had raising chips in his hand.
Queen 7 suited right behind him in Jordan's hand. Look at the V-pips. Both of the shorter stacks, 24%. Both of the larger stacks, over 65%.
Just where they're supposed to be.
So here we go. Queen 8 versus Queen 7. Both suited.
Yep, 2 different suits to root for here on your favorite player.
And Jordan picks up the best of it.
The clubs are in play.
Bet call? What do you think?
Definitely a bet call. Jordan's never folding. George needs to keep up the pre-flop aggression on that flop. Definitely within his range more than the calling person's range. But Jordan does just make the call here.
Oh.
So now we're just going to waste time.
Jordan's free rolling.
Yeah.
Jordan's free rolling right now.
Yes, it's not a complete waste of time. I'd love to see Jordan just blast off here. 7,000 bet into him, just make it like 27 to go, just in case your opponent does have a queen.
And George knows what spot he's in right now. He can't shove.
He can't shove. He knows that at best he's chopping this pot, and so he can't raise, but he's definitely not going to fold, obviously. So Jordan right where he needs to be, free rolling with a equal hand.
A club would be dirty. Ace of clubs.
Club would be a game changer, but it does not happen. So we are going to chop this one up no matter what. No player is going to lay it down. Let's see if Jordan just puts him to the test. Why not? George just said, reach for chips, whatever. Wasting Kevin the dealer's time. Or he just gets mean and raises him back.
I can see him saying all in. I can see him saying all in. Yeah, oh, no all in.
No, but he's going to reach for more chips. So.
I would like to see Jordan re-raise right here.
Yep. They just all in a call. So they did. they did shove it. Okay. Message sent, message received. Take your chips back, gentlemen.
That was fun. I always like chop pots.
Dealer Kevin there chopping it up for George and Jordan. But yeah, George doesn't really know how bad of a shape he really was in that hand on the turn.
After he saw the cards, he saw it, though.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just past the 430 marker. Just past the 430 marker. And we have 4 players left. 2 packages to be given away, one $880 prize to be given away, and one very unhappy person.
Kelly looking at a pretty decent hand here. King, Jack suited.
No, it's dominated by Jordan's hand.
The local. You're going to root for your hand against the Kojak?
I have to root.
Oh, my God, you hear that, chat?
Oh, no, that's
Chat,
a predicament.
you hear
No,
that, chat?
I just realized what you just said. That is a predicament. Holy cow.
This is what it feels like to be in the blender as a poker player, ladies and gentlemen. And Matthew waking up with a real hand as well. Looks like he just put in the call there. Jordan raised it up with your hand.
Oh.
George looking at all that chips out there in the big blind, all the chips he's got invested going to come along.
He's got one of Matthew's outs.
Yeah, so we're going to have a family pot here. First one we've had of the tournament.
Oh.
Kojak versus Charlie.
Oh.
Charlie flops best. You hear that, everyone? You rooted against the Kojaks.
I got to go for the 5-3, man.
And tough spot here for Matthew. You can't just give your opponents 9s. You know, he's got the lead in the hand, obviously.
And the Kojak goes in the muck.
Yep.
Whoa.
Matthew lets it go. I mean,
We got to give the applause to the 5-3.
I guess. I guess Matthew's looking for a 7 or nothing there.
Oh, and Matthew Jordan doesn't even know that's my hand.
Well, he have to let him know later. You made him. He made you proud. But yeah, Matthew there making the laydown of the pocket 7, so the 5-3, holding that there.
That was a 5-3 for the win. You know, I could have seen Kelly doing that. George did it earlier. That's the second 5-3 win.
I just wish I'd have switched the cameras to let everyone see you looking at your shoes when you were contemplating your hand.
Oh, I
versus the
know,
Kojak's
I
hand.
know. I did feel bad for a minute right there. Matthew's got the K9, otherwise known as the German Shepherd.
On the button, he's going to go ahead and, I don't know if he raised, announced straight. Yeah, he didn't raise to a straight 5,000, but suited connector, so Jordan's definitely going to make this call in the big blind here.
They share one card. That's always trouble. You don't ever want to share a card with your opponent.
No, but Matthew does have the better side of it right now. And a lot of nothing for either player here, but Jordan does have the chips, but Matthew still has the betting lead. Jordan down to a runner, which I've seen him go before for, but definitely no reason to get mixed up here with this. So Matthew choosing some aggression on the button and paying out, picking up some blinds there, much needed for an orbit.
So the arm looks pretty good now. You think that was a ploy to make him think he was hurt, take some pity on him? I know he really hurt it. He told me he slipped. But you've seen Phil Hellmuth use those tactics, you know.
Yeah, but I've played enough poker that there's no sympathy at the poker table, so it doesn't matter.
If you have sympathy, you're at the wrong game, right?
That's it.
In it to win it.
Hand number 41. Kevin and Whitney packing in the hands here for this final table.
George raising it up. Jordan's got the basil, the suited basil. And he makes the call. For those of you who don't know what the suited basil is, that is a Jack 10, and it is suited. And Kelly says, my AC Deucey is good enough to ride this train. I'm getting in, getting my feet wet. And we're going to three-way action to the flop. 15,500 chips in the pot. Flop comes out deuce 9-6. And that's all Kelly at this point.
Yeah, George had the betting lead, but it looks like Jordan is going to be the one betting out here. Kelly going to lay down bottom pair.
George says, not yet. So we are, excuse me, heads up. Ace 8 versus, oh, Kelly's kicking herself right now.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even show that she's upset, but you know she's burning.
Kind of an ugly look there she gave Kevin the dealer.
Did you see those eyes?
That was kind of an ugly look. We're going to have to go back and watch that one.
That was a, you prick.
Definitely the side eye there to dealer Kevin. And George is going to win this one.
Look at her. Look at her staring at him. look at that.
She even squinted the eyes. Unbelievable.
Oh.
Check. Jordan going to win this one with the ace high. And I wish we had the camera on Kelly just for 1 second. I folded a deuce. She even did the eye squint. We're gonna have to clip that. Clip that. Someone in the chat, clip that. Take a screenshot, send it to Kelly, and
send it to me and I'll post it.
Send it to Kevin.
When you turn trips, but you don't have any more cards. She's still smiling, shaking her head about it.
Yeah, that was the eye squint at the dealer. We've all done it.
Yes.
We've all done it. It only would have been even better if the pot would have bloated to over 100K or something.
Yes.
That's usually what happens in my case. I fold just in time to turn or river the winner, and it's a massive pot. So blinds are 1,000, 2,000, 2,000. George can be the first one to act here with 8-9 offsuit. Looks like he's getting some raising chips put together here. Jordan having a very playable hand, but he chooses not to. Kelly waking up with pocket jacks. So here we go.
Second time tonight we've seen pocket jacks.
Yep, this is going to be a yeah. So George decided not to feed the short stack there, which I do not blame him. Raising it up, leaning a little pressure. When they push back, just let it go. But
Kelly could have went back to back right there.
yeah.
She's sitting right at 75,000 chips. Got her big chips on top. She looks like she knows what she's doing, knows what the rules are.
I've seen her poster on the wall. She's won before. It might have been the only time she's ever won, but she has won before.
And I've been seeing her pictured a lot in the bomb pot tournaments.
Oh, they love the bomb pot tournament here on Wednesday night at Kojak's. It's been a good turnout week after week for the bomb pot tournaments. So after Kelly picking up a round of blinds there on that hand with the pocket jacks, it's going to walk to George. So Matthew losing out on the small and big in the orbit there.
CCC's PLO freeze out just begun, setting in level number 1. Already 18 entries in their tournament. Dealer change over at Kojak's in the final table of the Millionaire Maker. 4 players left. 2 players will be walking out with big old smiles on their face.
$2,500 package, $1,500 for the Millionaire Maker event, and $1,000 travel expenses, courtesy of the May Vegas series here at Kojak's and their play in it.
So you know we always have in our winners pictures the GM steps in. What happens if Kelly walks away with a seat? How's she going to step in? Or if she finishes third, is she going to step in and smile and take the picture?
Well, she better submit for the time off quickly if she wins this thing.
Touche.
George going to raise it up there as Jordan loses his big blind, stepping away for more important things to do. Again, each one of these players got in the top 10% of the flights that they played in to get to this day 2, where we had 6 qualifiers. We actually had 7. but one of the qualifiers was unfortunately eliminated in the last hand of
That's
the
so
flight.
dirty. That's so dirty.
You know, you don't see that happen very often, and we've had it happen twice this month.
Yes, and George woke up with pocket aces in that position.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't get to see the hand.
Yes, there was ace king, there was pocket aces, and another player had a pocket pair. And pocket aces held up and eliminated 2 players.
Wow. Yeah, so second time this month we've seen what should have been a qualifier get eliminated with no chips to be able to advance to day 2. So we started the day with 6 and said goodbye to a couple players. And now we have 4 left playing for 2 tickets to the event number 54 Millionaire Maker and $1,000 travel expenses. And third place out of these 4 will get 880, which was the leftover of the prize pool after the 2 $2,500 packages. So 5880 in this prize pool.
That's a good day. That's a good day at the poker room to walk away with this.
And Jordan coming back from a quick break, raising it up on the button with Queen 7 suited, saying, "Give me those blinds back that I missed."
Right? And already over to hand number 46. We are moving, cruising. And Jordan actually brought his service dog in, wanted his vest off, so his vest is sitting right by Jordan's feet, but that dog is walking around looking and looks kind of hungry. Just like the players at the table, they're ready to win.
I walked up and stuck my hand out and greeted the dog. It seems like a very nice dog.
Is that a Labradoodle?
Or just poodle, I think. Don't poodles come that big typically?
I don't know.
I think they do. I think that's just they have straight up poodles that are that big.
Jordan's raising up, and you got the eyes looking over the table saying, "Pops, what are you doing? That's Jack 6. That's the Reuben." Kelly looks up at wired 4s, as the natural says. Uh-oh, we got Team George in the chat just joining us in. What's going on, Adrian? George has the chip lead at this moment, 345,500 chips. King 8 of diamonds. That's a lot of diamonds out. So here we go. Kelly versus George. Wired 4s, King 8. George is looking for some diamonds. 2 of them already gone. Flop comes out, 2 diamonds, and that's usually what happens.
That's it. So
Kelly flops top set.
Set versus a diamond draw. So this one is going to be a doozy. She's going to bet this out 10.
Her eyes are evil today. You see her glaring at him?
Very serious today. And this is a serious hand because he just ripped it right back at her. It looked like he said to the dealer, "They're all in." And
that red chip is out there, and I think Kelly's got to make this. Oh,
well,
snapped
obviously, yeah. So we could be on the verge of a bubble burst here. We're looking for diamonds for George and just any board pair or a lot of nothing.
Just quads.
Okay,
just
so
quads.
Turn the hands over on the turn there, Kelly.
That's
and the diamond gets there. So that hand was destined to be Miss Kelly. So a fantastic double up that takes her out of the basement. Now putting Matthew as a short stack at 113,000. So well timed there.
Imagine how many chips she could have had if she stayed in with that ace deuce.
She'd be
She would have been chip leader after this hand if she had
Yep.
stayed in on that one.
for sure up there. But big hand there, 4-handed, played itself, top set, flush draw.
So here's the question: with her newfound over almost a 150, does she stay with the 1 tower, or does she spread it out into the twin towers?
We shall see.
Because that's a big stack of pink.
Yeah, no, not 2 towers. Too many chips. She's finally got too many chips.
So she's going more with a twin tower. Oh, no, she's going 3-way.
Now Let's see what she does with these newfound chips.
She came in, she's the only one that dressed for the final table today. Came in shining with sparkles.
Oh, why not? Nothing wrong with that. I just like to think that Jordan is trying for a Bass Pro Shop sponsorship. Second time he's worn the Bass Pro Shop's hat on stream. Pretty good sponsorship to have if you could get it there.
Absolutely.
George bottom pair best with the 9-4-9 on the flop. Jordan not having anything to come along with. George going to bet this out. Check, check on the flop. And now George improves to 3 pair. George trying to give Jordan a little rope here.
Yeah, I don't think Jordan's going to take it, though.
He did pick up a pair on the river. So it looks like we might see an overbet here from George. And he did. He overbet the pot. 12-5 in the pot. He bet 16-5, and that may needle Jordan just enough into a call, making a deuce on the river.
Looks like a bluff.
It's what he may be going for, but don't know if Jordan's going to find a call here. He could have. It's very plausible that he could have slow played a 9 to this point for sure.
The scary thing, if Jordan comes over the top, the 4 and the deuce are out of play, so your kicker is now playing. Can George make a raise
that
call?
Would be a blender move for sure out of Jordan.
Because George is at that point. George's 4 would play if Jack 10 wins, Jack 9 wins, Jack 7 wins.
That hand shrinks significantly when you're facing a raise. I think if you were going to do that, though, I think you should have already acted on it. But he may look it up. I think he's waited too long and looked back at his cards.
Too much, yes.
Yeah. He does make the call. So well played there by George to extract max value there out of Jordan. Waiting for him to catch a piece of anything. And he caught the littlest piece of it, but enough to pay off a bet there by Jordan to George. Well played hand, knowing your opponent, knowing the chip stacks, knowing how to get the most value. And for those just tuning in, we are at the final 4 of this final table for the event number 54 in Vegas. This was our 3rd event for the May Vegas Series here at Kojak's. $150 entry to win a $2,500 package. And Matthew here, did he call with the Kings?
Yes, he did.
It looks like George is going to raise it up. And unfortunately, Kelly waking up with a decent hand 4-handed here.
So this is going to be the problem. Kelly's either going to raise or call, and then Matthew's going to ship it.
Yeah, with Matthews, she made the call, so yep, Matthew just immediately goes all in, I think.
Nope.
No, 25,000, yeah, and George snap folds, and Kelly's got to let the ace-10 go. So when you're dragging a pot, you did nothing wrong. That's what I always say. And Matthew there stacking up some chips. The limp jam too strong.
That sounds like Star Wars. The force is strong in this one.
So, Charlie, the 2 chip leaders right now have finally reached a point where they are negative on the day.
Oh, that's crazy. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, that shows that the momentum is very much swinging to Kelly and Matthew's stacks. So Jordan and George, although they have 468,000 of the chips in play of the 730,000, they are down. They are pretty much even down just a little bit on the day. And while Kelly and Matthew have spun up their short stacks,
So the chips are getting a little more evenly dispersed.
Jordan has leaked all the way down to getting pretty close to Kelly and Matthew. Actually, he's going to raise this one up with King Jack and going to get the bet through.
No fun. Nobody wanted to play. I like how the players have spread out. We lost the inner seats.
Yeah, made room as long as they're on the right card readers. I don't care.
Looking just right in this view right here, we can see Kelly and Matthew here. Look how serious both of them look.
Oh, they know what they're going for. They're going for a trip to Las Vegas. And in Kelly's case, one that I can't deny.
Right?
She's picking up pocket nines here on the button. Jordan under the gun with 8-3 offsuit. As these blinds have gone up to 1,000, 2,500, 2,500. Looks like Kelly's going to raise this up to 8,000. And George may defend here, and he does with the Jack 4 suited of hearts. So Kelly looking to dodge a lot of hearts or a Jack on this flop.
And she dodges 8-deuce-3.
Yeah, no way she's going to be able to lay this down. She is going to go ahead and continue the aggression there. And could George be thinking of making a play back at her here? Putting her on big cards?
It would best benefit him to just call here if he's going to make a play. Call here, and then depending on the turn card being a king, queen, ace, spade, 4, 5, then he could really put the pressure on her.
Any kind of spade or anything, either way you want to look at it there. But he halted just for a minute, but decided against it. She has accrued a decent stack of chips. She's at 145,000, Matthew at 125,000, and Jordan's only got 174,000. So he's only 25, 30,000 above Kelly. So things are starting to even out here at the final table.
Kelly is now up over 100,000 chips in this tournament.
2 well-timed key double-ups for her, one on the very first hand, and then picking up the top set against the flush draw of George and holding up has put her in a great position.
And then one what if.
Oh, yeah.
One what if.
George and Jordan in the blinds going to go ahead and go heads up on a limp in by George with the 5-4 offsuit against the 4-deuce offsuit. The board reading out a chop pot at the moment. Bet there by George and fold by Jordan, so he gets his big blind the hard way. And we are off to hand number 52. Stacks have started to shift. The short stacks are pulling in within viewing distance and definitely striking distance. In Jordan's case, he has fallen down to 169,000 in chips, and Kelly has built hers up to 145,000. Matthew at 125,000. So that's one decent pot away from second in the chips, only to George, who is just under 300,000 in chips. So he still has a great commanding chip lead, but things are definitely shifting. But this hand here could help him get some of those chips back with the ace-10 suited. Going to raise it up, and Jordan with a very playable hand of queen-jack offsuit could decide to defend this small blind, and Kelly letting her big blind go with the 6-deuce offsuit. So the two big stacks who have dueled since the beginning are continuing to do so here. George in position. Neither player flopping anything of any sort. 3-3-9 on the flop, and if George continues the aggression here, if Jordan, he's laid down a couple of the last hands now that he has a competitive stack with some of the other two shorter stacks, but He could choose to float this here, and looks like he's actually making a play back at George. Fantastic, fantastic play there by Jordan with the check raise, putting the pressure back onto George. And George is going to go ahead and come along and not give up the hand just yet. Both players needing some runners, and that is not one of them. George still best with the ace high. Jordan going to check his option into George after the check raise on the turn or on the flop, and so we're going to go check check to a river and another deuce. So trays and deuces on the board does improve George's hand in his mind with the ace high, but Jordan's going to take the betting lead here, and you may see George think that he's just trying to push him off of a possible chop pot here. So I don't think Jordan's going to get away with this bet here. It's only 16,000. Kind of would expect a call here from an ace high chop. He bet 16 into 41. So George getting some pretty good odds here. But George really hasn't gotten out of line, so it's not an easy call by any means from George. And if Jordan happened to have any pocket pair, it's going to be better than the deuces of the trays. And he does lay it down, so fantastic betting there by Jordan. Just enough to put the pressure on George to lay down the ace high. The check raise on that hand definitely power shining through all the way to the river. And we are at hand 53 of this final table. Looking around at some of the tournaments going on in some of the other rooms, we are still on flight D of the main event satellite Road to Vegas in San Angelo, Texas at the River League. This is the day 2 of the Millionaire Maker event. I believe they have started the PLO freeze out, so you might have missed the entry on that one, but they are going, and we'll have some cash games afterwards. We have a couple tables going here at Kojak's of cash games. I believe a 1, 2, and a 5 on the button. And the dealer, Whitney, dealing out this hand at number 55. Kelly waking up with an offsuit blackjack, ace 10 on the button. Good position to be in to pick up a decent hand. Jordan does fold to her, and Matthew waking up with a 1 pip better, the ace jack offsuit.
1 pip, I like that. You should speak with your British accent that I heard you with earlier when you said that. 1 pip.
Most people don't even know what that means. George going to fold his hand, so we're going to see the two newfound stacks battled up. Matthew has no intentions of slow playing his ace jack, and he's going to raise it up, and they're going to go to a flop, and Kelly's going to flop best.
It's a good time to catch fire.
That's it. That's it. And Matthew made a significant bet of 25. I believe he bet and she checked, or he checked and she bet, and he went ahead and laid it down. So luckily catching one of her 3 outs.
George is just smiling, saying, "You know she had it. You know she had it." So 4 players left. Kelly is now up 120,000 chips. George is actually the only person that's negative. And George is down 29,500 chips. But the thing about it is, it doesn't matter how many chips you have. You just have to be in the top 2 to get a seat. Jordan's sitting right on almost 200,000 chips, 192,500 chips. Kelly in seat number 4 has got 159,500 chips. Matthew's got 111,000. And George is down below for the first time that 300,000 chip marker. He's got 270,500. Still in a commanding chip lead for the rest of the table. But he does have to be just a little more cautious on what he does with his chips. Kelly looks down, queen 3 of clubs, lets it go. She is all, it's easy to be all smiles when you're up in chips. Action moves around Matthew. Ace, Jack. George has already folded. And so we've got the ultimate showdown. Ace, Jack versus Ace, Jack. With a club shared between the two of them. So Matthew does call Jordan's 3-bet of 15,000 chips. And we are off to the flop. Flop comes out Ace, Jack, Queen. Queen's a scare card for both of them. Let's see how they handle it. Jordan opts to check first. Matthew leads out 15,000 chips into a 50,000 chip pot almost. So 63,500 chips are in the pot, and it was a call. Turn card's an 8. If you didn't think your opponent had a queen, you definitely don't think the 8 helped him at that point. And Matthew continues. Jordan checks. Matthew bets 15,000. Action is now on Jordan. He will probably make this call. He does look struggled with it, though. I think by the looks of that, he folds face up. Oh, is Matthew going to show him the same hand? I think Matthew actually threw his ace-jack in, same hand, and says, I got the best of you on that one. And that's got to feel good. We all have been at poker tables. We know when we bet them off with the same hand, it feels pretty great. So let's live it up in here. Where is everybody from today? You know Kojaks is located in Midland, Texas, right in the center of the Permian Basin, about 2 hours south of Lubbock, Texas, 2 hours west of San Angelo, Texas, and about 15 minutes east of Midland, Texas. So if you're out and about, cash games are running hot, and cards are running hot. 2 people are going to walk away with $2,500 tickets. That's $1,500 for the ticket and $1,000 for traveling expenses. Kelly's no foe to the 4s. They gave her quads a while ago, so it's her versus George heads up, and George flops Wazoodle. 8s, 8s, 8s. Kelly checks it. George is going to say, no, we're gonna put 4,000 into a 14,000 chip pot, and Kelly folds face up, pocket 4s.
She wanted to hit that 4 again. I got laughing, but good on her for go ahead and letting it go.
She's definitely not playing for third place today. She is playing for the win.
No, and she's right there close to almost second in chips. She's got 151,000 to Jordan's 159, so they are virtually even in chips. And like I said, it's still anybody's game. Even Matthew, he's got 145. He is in striking distance of both of them. So an hour ago it was looking like a
George show?
A George and
Jordan
walk away with a ticket, but now it's anybody's.
It's anybody's ball game. 159,000, 150,000, 140,000, and 279,000. And look at this. We've seen this a lot tonight. Sharon Suits.
Sharon Suits. Haven't seen any fireworks from it just yet, but could with this one here. George raised it up to 5,500 with his ace-5 suited, the new ace-king. Jordan makes the call.
No, the 3-bet.
Oh, he did. Jordan did 3-bet it, and a come along from George there. Okay, so we've already got a decent pot brewing here, 33,000. A lot of spades would be a train wreck, but dealer Whitney decides to spare everyone.
Jordan now in a strong commanding lead. Flops top pair with a decent kicker.
Yeah, he's going to bet this one out, and George cannot continue up to aggression, but picks up some much-needed chips. He has been on the backward trend for the last 30, 45 minutes.
And now he's back in the positive.
Back in the positive where he started at 9,000 chips ahead of where he began. Kelly's still up over 6 figures where she started.
So who's your pick to win? If you're sitting in the chat, who are you picking? Jordan, Kelly, Matthew, or George?
Yeah, now you can definitely see anybody picking anybody. It is a definitely game on between all 4 of these players. Again, we're just playing down to the top 2. So who are you rooting for?
You know, even though he took the sling off, he's still looking one-handed, so you can definitely tell his left arm is hurt. So he was not faking it when he came in for some sympathy chips.
Oh, I'm at that age where if I fall, I hurt something, so I have sympathy.
Oh, to all you young ones out there, George, but like Kelly, I hear you, Ryan. So your team J and K, not just kidding. That's George and Kelly for Team Ryan out there.
And Kelly's the one that's improved her position the most. She had a very, very short stack to start this final table.
40,000, right?
Yeah, in the very first hand, doubled it up. Immediate breathing room. And, you know, that might have set her tone, might have set the mental tone for the final table to feel more comfortable, feel better, get an immediate double up.
I would like to retake that picture of the dogs at the poker table and definitely use that dog. Look at it. Look at him. Look at the chips. Don't give them away. Don't give them away.
The instruction here, we need to see if he's breaking any rules there with assistance. Pocket Jacks, she's going to raise it up to 11. Pretty significant raise.
Oh, look at Mauricio is in the chat. Mauricio, what is going on, baby? How are you doing? How is the poker travels? And I want to wish you good luck in Vegas because I know you're about to spend 3 weeks out there.
And look what just happened. Jordan rips it in with the King 10. Kelly immediately snaps with the Jacks. So this is going to be for the new chip leader.
304,500 in the pot. Somebody's walking away, and Kelly's the only one with her chips in the pot. She's not feeling good about it.
Yeah, but Pocket Jacks have been good at this final table. Can they hold up this time? So far, so good. Dodging any 10 or any king.
4 outs.
And the Jacks are still holding it true at this final table.
And so did that eliminate Jordan?
That very well could have. Now, according to the computer, Kelly was just short of Jordan, but we know we can get the chip counts off occasionally here and there during the stream as chips are shipped around. So Dealer Whitney here is going to do a full countdown. Either way, if Jordan is not out, he definitely will be on life support, chip in a chair status. Massive, massive chip movement there. New chip leader in Kelly with the Jacks holding true.
So there's no chance she has 1 tower now.
No, she's definitely stacking up the chips now. And
George has a new foe at the table.
absolutely. And yeah, Jordan holding some chips back over there against the rails. It looks like he might have already counted down Kelly's chips for the most part. Yep.
You know,
Adding the chain, so he does have a little left.
That's me scratching the dog right there. I didn't even know this hand was going on at that point.
You didn't see that the chip lead just shifted?
No. the dog's going to walk over, and I'm scratching him right now.
You're too distracted by the good-looking dog. So, wow, big, big, big hand here. Number 59 of this final table. And Kelly, your new chip leader, with just over 300,000 in chips. And George at 266. Matthew at 139. And Jordan on live support with 8,500 remaining, with the blinds of 1,000, 2,500, 2,500. Matthew picking up a pocket pair under the gun here. Raise it up to a 5,000 chip straight. Jordan with the Queen 9 suited. He's got 8,500, so he's in the small blind. He's got some invested already. So
This has to be it.
you just go ahead and put the rest of it in here. Yep, he looks like he set it, counted it out for the dealer there, and Matthew's going to make this call. It's only a few more chips to him. So this is it. This is the burst, the bubble. If Matthew's 4s hold up against the Queen 9 suited of Jordan, and a queen right in the window.
The 4s are not going to be as good.
The hearts are alive.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
And
you
the hearts get their
spoke
runner.
too soon. Spoke too soon. The 4 of hearts eliminates Jordan. A huge swing and battle there. And unfortunately, we lose Jordan in 4th place at this final table. But I don't feel too bad for him. This man's already going to Vegas.
Yeah, he's
He
going.
won his ticket in the Monster event and ran deep into this tournament, and I hope he continues playing as good as he has been into Vegas, which I know he will, and run that Kojak's name up the leaderboards.
Absolutely.
So congratulations again to Matthew.
So, and then there were 3.
And that's it. So everybody is getting a little something now. 3rd place, 880. 880 was the remainder of the cash left after the 2 tickets, $2,500 a piece. Pot of $5,880. So 2 tickets plus 880 for 3rd place. So each one of these players guaranteed at least $880, and 2 will be getting a ticket to event number 54, World Series of Poker Millionaire Maker event, playing for a guaranteed first place of $1 million. And a top pair of aces for Kelly.
And Jordan's he's still sitting there. He looks like he's like, man, can't believe that. And that's crazy how fast your chips can change hands like that.
That's tournament poker for you.
So let me ask you this question, because I was watching, but I didn't see the action. It went too fast. Was he the aggressor in that hand? Was he the all-in? Or was Kelly the
No,
all-in?
she raised pretty significantly with the jacks, and he just shipped it.
Okay, so he was the all-inner.
Yeah, and the only it either went she raised, he jammed, she called, or it just even quicker if he re-raised, 4-bet it, and she or 3-bet her, and then she jammed and he called. But I think that would have been a little too quick for that. So I think he was the aggressor in the hand.
So we got some more Team Kelly stepping into the arena. Roberts, Team Kelly also.
Well, she's been running good. Started the day 5th out of 6th in chips. Very, very short stacked.
And the day started with the George show, and it quickly changed. They changed the channel. Now it's the Kelly show.
Yeah, George has bled chips away. He's not down much for the start of this final table, but he was knocking on the door of 400,000 in chips. Now he is down to 260, and Kelly has the chip lead at 305.
So just judging by the VPIP, I can see George remaining super aggressive.
I don't think there's any reason for him to really slow down, although Kelly and Matthew have both chipped up very significantly from their initial positions. It's not like they've been playing a lot of hands. They've been very selective in choosing good hands and getting good flops to come along with. And I think George can still exploit them a little bit and with some aggression.
Kelly picking up a gut shot. George holds one of those outs.
She can't call on a monotone board. So we'll see how fast George spins this up, see what kind of aggression he turns into here against these 2 players who have not been playing bad, have not been playing tight, but just playing very selectively.
Thank you, Mauricio. We are Team Mauricio here. Been missing you out here. We got some tournaments that you may like after the Vegas series ends. We may have a trick or 2 up our sleeve to surprise you guys for the Q3.
Oh yeah, we got some stuff coming up, but definitely this month still has plenty of juice left. This week, this Thursday is the beginning of the 2nd round for the Vegas main event satellite tournament, only a $200 entry. We're going to have 4 flights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. George flopping best here. Oh,
5-3.
it goes check, check.
Oh, my
And-
goodness.
And Matthew takes the lead with the ace. George is going to lead this out. And Matthew going to come along here. And Matthew's been a big three-better, but he doesn't do that here.
Oh, that's a hard card to bet and call with.
Yeah, it goes running diamonds. George going to look back at his cards. He could.
It would have to be something in the lines of 20 to
He'd
30,000.
have to bet pot to get Matthew to really think about folding here. And that's not going to be enough. I think Matthew's going to call this. Although, yeah, 7,500. Although we did see Matthew lay down those pocket sevens on a pretty innocuous board. But I don't think he's going to get away from the aces here, and he does not. And he calls, and they're going to turn it over there, and Matthew's going to pick up a pretty significant pot there.
And George just realized if he'd have bet the pot, he probably would have got away with that.
Yeah, yeah. But again, starting this Thursday, $200 entry into a 4-flight tournament, Thursday, Friday, and then 2 flights on Saturday, $200 to win a $12,000 package to the main event.
By the way, I'm playing.
Are you playing?
One of these times, we're going to start a GoFundMe account on here on the chat, and we'll build me up a ticket to play.
As long as that GoFundMe has employees to replace you, because it can't be one. I need at least 2 to replace you.
Oh, you hear that, Mauricio? He likes me too. Mauricio's had Mari has had a lot of luck at the Kojak Series tournaments, and run deep in a lot of them. Won a lot of money here, but he's just all around. He is George caliber. Yeah, and George's Mari calendar. Calendar.
Just work keeps him away from the tables.
Yes.
Matthew flopping a really, really good hand here. George with a lot of nothing, deciding to slow down after that last hand. Looks like Matthew's going to check this one again, and George's going to bet this out. And Matthew immediately reaching for chips coming along. That's got to send George to the exit door on this hand, regardless of what the river brings, even though it is the best hand. Check, check, and he's going to win it, though. Matthew missing the clubs there that he was looking for. And it's going to hold, and George is going to pick up that pot. So lucky river there, even though he was in the hand, there was a lot of bet opportunities there on the river for Matthew to take down that pot.
I like the difference in the stacks. We talk about that a lot. Kelly's stacks, very nicely formed. She's shifted him over into seat number 5. Matthew now taking up all of seat number 6's chip reader with his chips.
He's got to keep him out of the way and so he can look at his cards. But and then George with the very old-fashioned tournament stack.
Yes, sir, Maury. 2 winners. The third place finisher will walk away with $880 in cash on this $150 buy-in, and then 2 people will walk away with a $1,500 ticket and a $1,000 travel fee or travel expenses. So a $2,500 ticket waiting 2 people. So we are the bubble, baby.
And I wouldn't know which 2 to pick right now. I promise you that. The momentum has definitely shifted. The chip stacks are within striking range of each other. Matthew going to raise this up with pocket deuces on the button.
And I like this. Jordan's still watching.
Yep.
He went and got his sling back. He walked out for a little while, walked back in, and he's watching. And 2 pair for Kelly.
Yeah, huge flop for Kelly. Unfortunately, Matthew's not going to be able to continue with anything left on this flop with just the deuces.
And we haven't seen Matthew bluff anything yet.
Oh, no. No, but he's put in some well-timed 3-bets, and I think that's fantastic. He's gotten some pretty good equity out of some hands without much sweat with his 3-betting, check-raising. Definitely a huge skill to have in tournament play of poker.
We talked about the single tower for Kelly, the twin towers or the triple tower. She's got the quad towers going now.
Oh, yeah. The chip leader right now. Now, George is not terribly too far behind, about 50,000 behind in chips, and then 50,000 behind him roughly. I'm sorry, 100,000 behind him roughly is Matthew. Matthew with 143, George with 248, and Kelly just over 300,000 in chips. And George is going to raise this one up with the 7-4, so deciding to choose the aggression route on the button. Matthew defending with his ace. Gut shot now for George. Unfortunately, one of those gut shots is out of play in Matthew's hand. So needing a 7, 4, or 5, or some more well-timed bluffs. No, he's double gutted. He could hit a 9 as well. So he did bet the flop there. Check, check on the turn. King on the river.
I don't think George stops here. I think George continues.
I think but no, Matthew's going to take it from him, and that's going to take it out of George.
Yep.
So a good bet there out of Matthew. And
we haven't seen Matthew make a lot of mistakes. We really haven't seen anybody make mistakes, but Matthew hasn't made a lot of bad plays or any bad plays.
We've only seen one or two missteps for this final table, but the players that are here remaining have definitely played really good poker and deservedly still here from it. Blinds are 1,500, 3,000, 3,000, so there's still a ton of play left in these stacks. It just depends on how they choose to play these stacks.
Going to be a whole lot of nothing on this, but will they make it happen?
Matthew going to raise it up there, trying to steal the big blind there from George. George going to defend with the Jack Deuce.
He says, not in my house.
No. A good flop there for Matthew. I would have liked to have seen a bet there out of Matthew. He'll probably bet it now.
But George has just enough to maybe stay.
Depending on how much he bets, looks like it's either 12 or 16. It is 12. I don't mind the sizing. I don't know if George would be thinking much here about calling. I think he would be thinking more about raising here. If he made it 20, just a min click back, it would put Matthew in a difficult position. I don't know that Matthew would fold top pair open-ended, but George does lay it down, so we'll not get to know.
Look at the table in front of George. He's had a lot of motions out to the call line. Because we sweep that down today, made it nice and smooth, and he's wearing out putting chips into the pot. So once again, thank you for joining us out tonight. We're in the final 3 of the Millionaire Maker, and we have 2 tickets to give away. And third place will walk away with around $880. But 2 people will be walking away with big smiles, joining the 6 other players already headed to Vegas. 4 for the Monster Stack and 2 for the main event. And then 2 more heading for the Millionaire Maker. And next week is going to be huge at Kojak's. If you're out and about, we have a $200 entry, 4 flights, one on Thursday, 6 p.m., one on Friday, 6 p.m., one on Saturday, 3 p.m., and one on Saturday at 7 p.m. So it is your time to shine and head to the World Series of Poker most prestigious event.
Kelly still holding on best here with the ace high, has the worst diamond draw. George checked her. She's seems to be thinking about it here. And she does make a bet. Good bet there by Kelly, getting George to lay down that. No, I'm sorry. He bet. She laid it down. Couldn't quite see there due to the dealer. And the Patrick Mahomes wannabe haircut there, Kevin. Is that what that is? So 3 left. The third place. The next one out here gets $880 in cash. And the other 2 tournament will be over with 2 tickets, 1 apiece, to Las Vegas for the Millionaire Maker event at the end of this month, end of June. June 21st, I believe, is the first day 1 of the Millionaire Maker in Las Vegas with a $1 million guaranteed first place prize. So in essence, these 3 players are playing for what could be $1 million. George raising up King 10 on the button. Matthew going to defend his big blind with Jack 7 offsuit. Queen 9 deuce. Matthew checking over position to George. George is going to go and continue his aggression and take down this pot. Building back closer to Kelly for the chip lead. And Kelly right at the 300,000 mark, and George a little over 250,000. So about a $50,000 difference there in chips. And Matthew at 164. Still plenty of chips with the blinds only at 1,500, 3,000, 3,000. Plenty of time for poker to be played. But when you are three-handed, usually the spoils go to the aggressors. Kelly picking up a very playable Queen Jack offsuit three-handed. Matthew having an ace in the hole in the small blind. And George 6-9 offsuit does not choose to complete, and so we're going to see heads up between Kelly and Matthew. Kelly having position on the hand and the pre-flop aggressor bet to a flop of 3-8-4. So Matthew does catch a pair and will take the betting lead on it, and of 8,000. And Kelly not understanding what he could be betting. He was in the blind. He could have any of that, and he decided to take the betting lead. And again, there's quite a few viewers seeing who gets to get the 2 tickets to Vegas. And if you're just joining us, this is the final table, the final 3 of the final table of the $150 event, the 3rd in the May Vegas series here at Kojaks. There's a $150 entry, 3-flighted tournament. Each one of the players that proceeded to day 2 had to get in the top 10% to make it to day 2 to compete for a $2,500 package. $1,500 of it going towards the entry into the event number 54 Millionaire Maker tournament, and $1,000 worth of travel expenses to help them get there. And the package deal being worth $2,500, put that into the pot as many times as it could hold, and ended up with 2 packages and $880 left over. So whoever is out next still gets a cash prize of $880, and the other 2 will each get a ticket. And one thing that we have not mentioned much here on stream is the equity share that we're doing here at Kojaks for these May Vegas series events. In this event in particular, since there are 2 ticket winners, they will share 5% equity in each other. So whichever 2 players continue on to Las Vegas and play in the event number 54, whatever they win out of event number 54, the other player will share a 5% equity in action. So they have a 5% equity in each other of the 2 holders. George is going to continue the aggression here and take down this pot here from Matthew, picking up some much needed blinds. Now this Thursday, we're going to be starting our last tournament series in our month of May Vegas series. It is the 2nd round we're doing of the main event satellite. Now it's going to be a $200 entry tournament. Only a $200 entry tournament to win a $12,000 package. That's right, a $12,000 package, which is a $10,000 entry into the most famous, most prestigious tournament in the world, the World Series of Poker main event, for $10,000 and then $2,000 worth of travel money. So a $12,000 package for only $200, and that's going to start this coming Thursday. So definitely mark your calendars at the end of this week to play in as many of those flights as you can. All bags are moving forward. We're going to have 4 flights. So we have a bet and a raise out of George. Some more aggression there, and Matt immediately folds his bottom pair. So the first flight starts on Thursday at 6 p.m., and then we'll have a flight on Friday at 6 p.m. And then Saturday we'll have 2 flights, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Again, only $200 to play for a $12,000 package.
So I just talked to Jordan walking out the door, and he was unaware that next week is the main event qualifier. And he said, I will be at the final table.
And I don't doubt him. He has been at 2 of our 4 final tables so far, or 2 of our 3.
Yeah, he's
final
been
tables.
at 2 of the 2 he's played in.
Yeah, and he has already won one of our $2,500 tickets to the Monster Stack event. So he is already headed to Vegas, representing Kojaks in the Monster Stack event.
So I got to give a little shout out to Basil. Basil, your seat is now open. We've got 9 players on the list. You better run in to get in because 9 players just walked in for a 1-2 table. We've got a full 5 on the button table with about 3 people on the list. So we're on the verge of opening up the 3rd cash table. So it is going to be a busy night here at Kojaks. It's going to continue the tradition of multiple cash tables running, and it is time to play some cards. I wish I could sneak out of this booth. Hey, by the way, I got to go. My seat's open. My chips are out there.
You played poker for hours yesterday.
Oh,
when
no,
was working,
no.
sir.
No.
You played for hours.
Oh, in my head, and on my app. No, I'm just kidding. George wakes up with Queen 10 suited. It's always so beautiful. And Kelly spikes her ace, and she's got the only club on the board. George is going to c-bet, though. 19,000 chips already sitting in the pot on hand number 77. We predicted, we were playing with prediction times. I said around 4:15 the table will have already closed, and here we are. It is 5:40, and we're still rolling. George is now officially drawing dead. Will he continue the betting, though? Yes, he will.
Yeah, she can't be having too much hope in the 8 of clubs, but it's hard to lay down top pair 3-handed. And she definitely has the playing chips to do so.
That's what I was about to say. Especially with her stack, it's pretty much impossible.
So George here is thinking, I'm going to definitely need a good bluff card. And he does hit the queen on the river, so he could put some more. No, he goes in and checks it down. So Kelly's going to pick up a decent pot there with the ace. So good check back there from George to not fire that last bullet at that pot. I don't even remember what time I predicted.
5:40. No, 5:15.
5:50. Oh, I'm way past mine as well. Well, how did I know that the short stacks were going to do so well coming back? It's been the theme of the night, the comeback of the two of a couple short stacks. But the best hand has been winning. Pocket jacks holding up, pocket fours.
We haven't.
Well,
George hit the river
set.
one time, but he didn't get paid off. He bet it.
Yeah. But the better hand has been pretty decently holding up tonight.
Oh, Kelly looks down.
Nope, she doesn't care about your hand.
Oh, Kelly, that's the winner. 5-3 would have won this hand. Watch this flop 5-5-5, and she's gonna glare at Kevin
For the second time. They would have flopped the lead.
I'm telling you, 5-3 is the most underplayed hand in the world of poker.
Oh, and it just got sucked out.
Oh, 5 on the river, definitely. We probably won't get to see it, but definitely 5 on the river.
Yeah, he didn't bet a lot. Matthew's going to come along. He did make a pair. It's hard to do three-handed. Charlie needs a 5 or a 3 to win this hand.
Oh, I thought that was a 5. Just enough to get a bet by George, but it's a check.
And that's twice George has not pulled that third bullet out on the river that saved him money.
So you might be wondering why they're playing cards like 5-3, like 7-6 and Jack 4. It's because when you get to three-handed, those cards are much stronger than the nominal values on the face of the card.
Yeah, when you're down to three-handed, the range opens up. You're playing a lot of position. You're playing a lot of persons and whoever's in the blind. And so short-handed play differs from a full ring game.
I like six max tables
6 is your honey hole.
because I like to play a lot of cards.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, George has got the 5-3. He'll play it. He's already won with it once tonight.
I'm a pretty patient player, so I don't mind a full table of 9. I can fold a lot. Kelly with actually one of my favorite hands. Actually, 5-7 suited. Remember, I don't know if I mentioned that before on stream. So I have outbested you on this flop.
Grr.
Wonder if he's going to come along here with a bottom pair, and he does. Like I said, three-handed. Any pair's pretty good three-handed, and he's going to pick up the open ender, so you might get there. But I would get if.
Look at those eyes. She is playing.
She's been around this game a while. She's serious. And that
7 high straight
seals it for Kelly. So George making 2 pair. Do you just give your opponent a 7 here? Could we see a pretty significant chips be shipped here? He's going to bet it out. It looks
25.
like 5,000. And does Kelly have the guts to raise here? Because I don't think you get called very
No, she's
often.
counting out.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely going to raise it, but I don't know how often you get called by worse.
55.
Yep, he has to let it go. Just unfortunate. He's putting her on a 7. Has to.
So Kelly's creeping up on 350,000 chips. Who in the chat is Team Matt? Who is Team George? And who is Team Kelly? We've got an epic battle here for 2 seats to the WSOP event number 54, the Millionaire Maker, where $1 million guaranteed. So 2 of these players have a shot to become a millionaire.
I mean, it's effectively true in saying that these 3 players are playing for $1 million.
Yes.
They are playing for a ticket into a tournament where first place is guaranteed $1 million. George going to finally slow down here and lay down his button. Kelly's going to call the big blind. Matthew going to check his option, and we're going to go heads up.
Choctaw Nuts versus the German Shepherd, and the Choctaw Nuts is in the lead. I just reached over and showed Reese George's Hendon Mob. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It is.
$539,000 in tournament winnings.
That's pretty solid, and he's showing it here by still navigating this final table. Kelly going to come along still with that second pair.
Oh, that's a hard board to bet and call on.
Yeah, any 10 makes the straight. She's just trying to get to a cheap showdown with the 9s, and you're going to see that it is not best. And that's going to put some more chips in Matthew's stack and bring him closer to George. George doesn't want to see that. George still with about 13, 14,000 chip lead. Not much. Less than 3 of those pink chips lead on Matthew. And Kelly still having the lion's share at 330. Almost a little under half the chips in play. Blinds should be going up soon.
Hand number 93 of this table, or sorry, 80 of this table, sorry. I didn't think it'd make it this far, and they are showing they're playing. Matthew is now reaching, cutting chips out. And actions on Kelly, or he may just be getting his stacks in 20s. Kelly looks down at Jack 3. She's going to let it go. Matthew looks down at Queen 9 suited. And it looks like he's got min-raised chips. Or he's just holding them.
Yeah, he's checking out the blinds there. He's definitely making a raise. And Matthew quickly calls.
This is the 3rd or 4th time tonight we've seen them share the same card. both Matthew and George. Queen 4 versus Queen 9 suited. Queen 9 quickly jumps in the lead. Kings pretty much solidify that king is not in the hand of someone.
No, they are only three-handed, but that is the preferable card to hit there for Matthew, putting him at a huge favorite into this hand, and he's just going to call George's bet. So, disaster if he continues betting this hand, unless he can somehow hit a queen and chop this pot. He's going to fire a second bullet. Matthew, yeah, he's going to come along. He's not going to level himself into him holding a king.
I like how Matthews, all of his calls are essentially a string call, which is not a thing, but he calls in 2 motions.
Oh yeah, he's you can tell he's thinking very meticulously. George is going to have a weird sizing here. He's going to bet about half pot, maybe 30,000. And
that is a tough call because the kickers come in play.
35, and so it's a tough. Oh, he got him to lay it down.
Good play, George. Great play. Great bet.
Yeah, great sizing there by George. I didn't know what that number was. I knew it was going to have to be pretty hefty, but you know, if you're Matthew, and if you're going to put your opponent on a king or a pair better than a 9, and the board doesn't change your mind into anything, it's tough to call on that flop and then just not continue with it through the river.
It's impossible. Impossible.
Yeah, I think I would rather, Matthew just having to call that one down. If you're going to convince yourself on the flop you're in the head, you're still going to be in the head on that river. But George putting him into the blender with that hefty size river bet.
You know, a lot of times you see people shuffle chips and they fall off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching George do it tonight, and his shuffles are perfect. He has not shuffle spilt.
Oh, like I said, he's a very accomplished tournament player, so he has had plenty of hours at a poker table to shuffle those chips. Looks like Matthew raised up there on the button with an ace, and it's going to get through the blinds and pick up some of those blinds that he lost in that last hand. We have quite a few people in the chat between Facebook and YouTube, but not many people feeling very chatty tonight. Charlie, give him something to chat about.
Oh, well, before I go to give you something to chat about, Mari, we just looked up your Hendon Mob also, and you've ousted George on this one. So we have to give the hats off to you on that, Bubba. You're going to increase that by about 12 million at this year's WSOP, right? We're gonna be setting at almost 13 million for you after you win the big one here.
Come by here and pick up a Kojak's hat on your way.
Absolutely, he's got a couple.
Button raise there by George, and we're going to pick up the blinds on that hand. Going to hand number 83. We're down to 3 players. We're on the ticket bubble, but third place does get $880 in cash.
I honestly don't know who I was going to pick. When it started, I was 100% in George's corner just because of the dominating chip stack. But now that the chips have been spread, it's anybody's game.
Well, Matthew is, like you said, a fairly new player to the Kojak's scene, so I don't have much experience in watching him play. But like I said, when I was making my rounds over the last few days, he just looks like one of those patient players.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
that's what I don't have.
But that's what's huge in tournament play is patience. And they have both him and Kelly have both been very patient tonight. And having the fruits to show for it. Kelly is the current chip leader and came into the table 5th out of 6th with less than 50,000 in chips and has built out to over 300, almost about at 330,000 in chips.
390,000 sitting in the other 2 player stacks.
Yeah. And she's got almost half the chips in play.
And every chip matters at this point right here. So in the chat, I want to know quickly who you think are going to be the 2 qualifiers. Let us know who you think are going to be the 2 qualifiers. And how many hands do you think this is going to go before we finish? We're at hand number 85. if you can predict the exact amount of hands, the exact hand that this will end on, we will toss 2 hours onto your account. And we've got two
The
tables running,
exact-
about to be a third.
The exact hand.
Yes, hand number 94, hand number 115, whatever hand, if it's in the chat, you will get 2 hours on your account.
So how about whoever's closest? The exact hand. Come
Okay,
on, that's hard.
All right,
That's hard.
but if we're gonna do whoever closest, look at this. 5-3 is a monster hand. Nobody has it, and it's underplayed. If we're gonna do whoever's closest, we're gonna play Price of Right rules.
Okay.
Whoever's closest without going over.
Okay. Whoever's closest without going over to the number of hand counts it's going to take to get down to the final two. A couple free hours of cash game access play courtesy of Charlie.
And we're about to have 2 5 on the button tables running and 1-2 running. So get it typed in the chat. You've got, I'm going to put a timer on this. You've got about 5 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't end before that. But you've got about, we'll say it is 5:52 right now. You've got till 5:55 to get in the chat. What hand number closest without going over wins 2 free hours at Kojak's. Hand number 123, Eric Molina, is already on that.
We are on hand 85 right now for reference. Hand 85 right now. We have been live streaming this final table for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. About 2 hours and 30 minutes with the delay. So 2 hours and 30 minutes has gone by with 86 hands. So pick how many hands you think it's going to take to get down to the final two without going over.
Courtesy of Charlie, 2 free hours on your account. Basil says 117. Hey Basil, your seat is open, my brother. We got your seat open.
What do you have, a 5 on the button and a 1-2?
And a 1-2, and we've got a big list ready almost to go for another 5 on the button.
Fantastic. We ran pretty deep into the night last night, earlier to this morning. The dealer you see in the box there, I believe, dealt until about 7 o'clock this morning and still made it here for the live stream.
Made it on time.
To give Whitney credit. Blinds are 2,000, 4,000, 4,000. So 8,000 in chips going to the middle for every 3 hands for these players.
Another shared pair.
Yeah. King 7 pipped out by King 8. Don't say it fast.
You have to use the British accent. Do you have a British accent?
I do not.
Okay.
Do you know what a pip is? Officially, like what an actual pip is.
I know what Pippi Longstocking is. A pip is a jolly old chap, right?
A pip is what you call the spot on a domino or a set of or a die, like
the
a throwing
indention?
die. The indention. That's the official name.
That's a pip?
Is a pip. And so in poker, when they say I'm out pipped,
I'm out
there's more
dimpled.
There's more pips on your card than mine.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like it. So we've got 2 guesses, and we've got 1 minute left. If you're in the chat, type it in. If you want some free hours, the closest without going over, Price is Right rules, wins 2 free hours on their account. And if you're like Basil and you enjoy that 1-2, that's actually 4 hours.
Yeah, at half price poker for the 1-2s here at Kojak's. You know, we've got some stuff that I don't know if I want to leak yet on that one.
No, don't say it.
Don't?
Yes, no, yes.
Yes, you leak it?
Yes, leak it.
Maybe after this hand if I feel like it. Matthew waking up with blackjack on the button.
All right, if 9-2 wins this hand, you have to leak it.
Okay. So George, he is going to, looks like he's just going to limp in here with this ace-jack. Going to play this little sneaky, so your 9-deuce has a shot.
9 deuces never loses. Looks like Jordan's finally heading on out. Kelly with Jack 3 gets in there for free.
Yep. And 3 ways to a family pot. Queen.
9 deuce
10,
is in the lead.
9 deuce is in the lead.
Ace Jack looking good for that gutty.
He's going to go ahead and lead out. And Matthew's going to say, I've under-repped my hand, so I've got to continue it on here. Say 5 on the turn. It helps no one. But George is going to check it and check it back to Matthew. Okay,
looks like we got something leaking.
Looks like I have to talk about June.
Look at Nancy. Mama's predicting 150. We're gonna get Mama in here playing. That is my Mama in the chat.
Charlie's mama in chat 150. I like that.
Hold on. We gotta get away from the eggheads, bald and beautiful. Hi Mama, I love you.
Welcome to the stream. I'm sure you're watching all of the time. Me
She
and
does.
Charlie banter back and forth, the bald and the beautiful.
She comes home and says, "What? What? You were playing? No, you weren't." No, but 9 deuce won that hand, so I do need to hear this
Okay. So
news.
June in Kojaks, the 1-2 game has been doing especially well here at the club with a wide variety of players. So Thursdays in June is the new Charlie's game. Thursdays in June is going to be a live streamed 1-2 game that you can sign up for at any point during the week. It's going to be a permanent listing. So if you get in that first 9,
You hear that, Basil?
get there and get right here, and Charlie or I or both will be commenting on your play in a 1-2 game here at Kojaks on Thursday nights.
We may even get George in here.
I'm sure we'll get George in here as well. Might get some other commentators.
Look at this. Kelly's got pocket tens, shared one of the tens, but we didn't even get to see anything with that.
We raised it up and they ran away.
She's George in the pots now. She's raising like he was.
Yep, Basil, as soon as you see that list pop up, get on there. And
He
be
says,
on.
"Put me in that live stream already."
It'll be every Thursday in June.
What's the starting time?
I don't know. You're the one that said it. I think it was 6.
Okay, that sounds groovy.
6 p.m. on Thursdays. Be able to get on the live streamed 1-2 game. Charlie's game on Thursdays in June.
Officially brought to you by Jordan and Bass Pro Shop. Sparkles lays down her 5-4 suited. I would have played that. That's why I'm commentating.
Well, yeah.
So we got the snickerdoodle sliding closer for a pet to the dealer.
Yeah. Is that the name of the dog?
I don't know.
Oh, that's just what you would call it.
Yep.
Are we going to call that the last minute gamble?
Oh,
right
yes.
there?
Caleb, you're in for the last minute. All right, Ryan, we got you. All you got to do is sign up. We'll put up the list. We'll say 5 days in advance. We'll probably put it up on Saturday for Thursday.
Yeah, well, it'll come up every after it's done on Friday. So we'll put it up on June 1st, and I believe June 1st is on a Saturday. So it'll be up on Saturday, and then after the game is complete on Thursday, we'll go ahead and put that list back up there on Friday again. So it'll be up anytime during the week for you to be able to get on there and get on the live stream for a 1-2 cash game.
And what we'll do is we'll have feeder tables because there's going to be a huge demand out there. So we'll have a feeder table that's must move. And so that'll be a secondary table running out on the floor, 1-2, no limit hold'em. And if you've watched the 1-2 streams here, they are salty crazy.
Oh, we had we did it. We did 1-2 stream for a little while before the final table of the main event ticket we had last week, and it was a fun little game to commentate and watch. The 1-2s here are fantastic. I believe they're is it 60 to 300?
60 to 300. And what about that river? We've always had a rule that 1-2, no straddles, no bomb pots, and no running it twice.
That's right. But I made a decree as of yesterday.
A pip.
anyone that has played the 1-2 knows that we don't run it twice on the 1-2s, but now I'm allowing it. If you are all in, heads up, we allow running it twice in the 1-2 game. Still not doing straddles or bomb pots, but the running it twice on all-in situations is now allowed. Same as the same rules as the 5 on the button game.
Good. I know if I was ever played, I always get my money in bad, so I want that 2 or 3 times. Running it twice or 3 times?
It depends. I mean, 3 is a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of waiting. But I promise you, I will run it twice no matter what I have, no matter what the odds are. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm thinking of it backwards. If I have pocket aces and they flop 4 to a flush, and everybody says, oh, no, just one time. I don't want to get you 2 chances to hit your flush. No. I'm going to make you hit the flush on me twice.
Yep. Speaking of running it multiple times, this is an old story about Miss Joni. Miss Joni was playing at the 5 on the button game, and Mr. Richard Tennyson, dealer over at CCC, was dealing. And it was pocket aces. Ooh, we'll tell that story in a minute.
Just 1 second here. We're going to see if Jacks can go 3 for 3.
Usually they're 0 for 3 at this point.
I'm telling you, but they have held well. George is going to defend that ace in the hole in the big blind. So we got a 3-bet out of Matthew for $25,000 and coming along with George. So this is already a $54,000 pot. Pretty significant pot here. An 8-9 queen.
That's a pretty good flop for jacks. 20,000.
Bet that out, and George is still going to come along. He is married to those running diamonds or running straight cards, and that is going to complete the straight for Matthew and create an open-ended situation and a nut diamond draw for George. So this is huge.
15,000 again.
George won't raise here, but he's definitely going to call. I would have liked to seen a bigger bet out of Matthew there, but I know it is a little bit scary with all the diamonds. And the board pairs, but the diamond doesn't come home. So let's see if Matthew continues on. He's going to check it to him. Now what happens if this is a tournament changer? This is a tournament changer. There it is.
That's a huge bet right there. And look at this.
Oh, and he
Oh, he
called
calls.
it. He called it. Oh, that was a tournament changing hand
And
right
George
there.
is all in.
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, he's not out, but he was all in that hand.
Yeah, you know, I watched him ship it, and a great bet by George. I think the pocket jacks is one of the only hands that's going to call you there that didn't make a boat or a flush on the river. Three-handed is tough to do. Matthew having two of the jacks in the deck and the jack of diamonds. Still a tough call no matter what. Great bet by George. Great call by Matthew. And so
It's a tough blow. George is now in third place in chips.
But he still has enough to compete. That
140,000 blinds or 244.
Yeah, so we're still game on here. But the stacks have shifted, so we'll see if George shifts gears here to try to get some of those chips back. So running it twice. What happened with Miss Joni?
Okay, so Joni's in, and she gets her pocket aces. She did not go all in. Pocket sixes shoves all in, and Joni calls with the pocket aces, and they flip over their cards. And Joni says, "I don't want you to lose all your money. We'll run it 3 times."
Oh no.
Yeah, it's the ultimate deadly story. Top board hits 6.
Yep.
Middle board hits a 6. Bottom board 2, 3, 4. Turn card 5.
Wow.
Joni loses all 3 of them.
3 pocket aces versus sixes. That's you just have to laugh at that and move on.
She looked at Richard and she's like, "Richard, what the heck are you doing?" Not in those words. She doesn't cuss, but there was probably a HE double hockey stick in there.
Jeez. Open-ended for Matthew here, and with his newfound chips, let's see if he starts getting aggressive, starts making some bets. Checked all the way around to a turn. It doesn't quite get there. Still no pair for anyone. And the 3 on the river does bring in the flush draw if anyone wants to represent that. George has got the check mark with king high, but it's hard to call down. Matthew with his newfound chips does put in a small bet, but it is going to be enough to get through both players as no one was able to make a pair. And so we're going into hand number 94. Hand number 94. And we did ourselves a Price is Right style final hand of the tournament. We're only playing down to 2. But with the way these chip stacks keep swinging, I can't tell you how long we're going to be here. I'm afraid to hazard a guess. We are at hand number 95 currently. And Kelly is still in the chip lead with 300,000, but Matthew with that huge double up with the pocket jacks builds all the way up to 272, putting George at the bottom with 136, but still within a very healthy double up range. Looks like Kelly here is going to raise to 8,000 with queen 9 suited. Matthew going to see a flop with the pocket 5s. Going to see if, no, he 3-bet it to 16,000 with pocket 5s. Kelly's going to let the queen 9 suited go very smartly. Don't want to go against the other guy who's creeping up on you in chips because he is almost there. They are almost equal in chips. Both players just hovering around the 290,000 mark in chips, with George behind with about 135. But again, one good pot away from getting back to that chip lead. Dealer Whitney heading out to deal 96, the 96 hand of this final table. Again, if you are joining us late, and we welcome you into either stream, whether on Facebook or on YouTube. This is the final three of the final table of the $150 entry Vegas tournament for event number 53 or 54, not real sure, the Millionaire Maker event, which is a $1 million guarantee first place tournament in Las Vegas at the end of June. First place guaranteed to be at least $1 million. I think that should happen pretty easily. The WSOP events have been doing fantastically. So 2 out of 3 of these players will be playing for a $2,500 package, which includes a $1,500 entry into that event, plus $1,000 in travel expenses to get there. Again, we have had a great month here at Kojak's giving away Vegas tickets. The first event we did at the beginning of the month was for the Monster Stack event. We gave away 4 tickets to the Monster Stack event, 4 $2,500 packages. And then last week we did our first of 2 main event ticket tournaments. That's right, the main event, $12,000 packages for only a $200 entry fee. And we had 2 players enjoy 2 tickets to Vegas that they're going to be using this summer. And we're going to be doing that same tournament again this week. That's right, this Thursday, $200 to enter a satellite tournament with 4 flights to win a $12,000 package to the World Series of Poker main event. All players missing this flop here. Kelly's going to bet this out and pick up the pot. So this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 2 different times on Saturday. So 6 p.m. Thursday, 6 p.m. Friday, 3 p.m. Saturday, and 7 p.m. Saturday. You'll be able to enter into the tournament for only $200, and you're trying to get in the top 10% of any flight. And you can take as many bags as you want to forward, so you can play in all 4 flights. And if you happen to bag in all 4 flights, you get to combine all of those chips to go into day 2 on Sunday, where we're going to play down to as many players as there are tickets. The total cost of the packages of $12,000 divided into the prize pool. If we get 2, again, we'll give away 2 seats into the main event. Just like this tournament here, there were $2,500 packages, and we ended up with a prize pool of a little over $5,000. So we have 2 tickets out of these 3 players that are going to be given away, and the third place out of these 3 will be getting the remainder of the cash, which is $880. So next week, well, next Sunday, a week from today, but technically this week, I suppose, Thursday night, 6 p.m., $200 for a $12,000 package to the main event in Las Vegas in the world's most prestigious poker tournament for only a $200 entry fee right here at Kojak's.
I want to play that one. One of these times. The moneymaker effect is real.
Oh, it is.
Moneymaker, what, $40 satellite or something crazy like that?
Yeah, and went all the way and started a whole revolution. He won recently, by the way. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I didn't.
He won a pretty big tournament.
Overseas or here?
I believe it was overseas, but it was the first real big score I've seen him in a while. Top pair versus open-ended here.
9 would be a crazy card. Matthew would think he's pretty wicked in the lead.
He would bring up a 4-liner on the board, which is tough, but 3-handed, anything is good. Matthew. Yeah, so Matthew's going to be best here with the straight, and he's going to bet that out, and George doesn't have anything to call him with, unfortunately. So Matthew just having George's number here lately.
Ryan, we'd roast you a little bit. Not too bad, but all in good faith, good health.
And we are on hand 99. Let me scroll back through some of these comments and see what people were guessing. Right now, 117 out of Basil. And then we have a 123, so a small window there for Eric to get in to the hours free from Charlie. 150 out of Miss Nancy and 180 out of Caleb. And this is hand 100 of this final table. Again, we are down to our last three, where third place is going to get 880, and the other two will get $2,500 packages. George and Kelly in this, and Kelly with the flush draw. Gonna bet this one out here.
Look at all those outs that Kelly has. 17
Yeah.
outs, 16 of them active.
Yep. That's when do you want to bet? Oh, so finally?
Yeah, finally. So, ladies and gentlemen, the final table is brought to you live by Taco Bell Late Night, and it's Doritos Locos Day at Kojak's. We are about to get the grub on.
It may not bring the stream, but it brings the commentators to the stream. It allows us to push through this as we have crossed over hand 100 of
What were
this
the
final table.
what were the numbers?
We just went over it. It was 117 is the lowest one out of Basil. And then we've got 180 out of Caleb. So in between there,
I hope
23
Mama
and
wins.
150.
I hope Mama wins because I've been begging her to come play cards
I'd
for the
say
longest time now.
If she wins, she's locked in. She
Yeah,
has to
she
come play.
has to. You hear that, Mama?
Too funny.
And so here we go. Hand number 101, creeping closer to that Basil number. We got some to go to get to the others. Oh, I love the fact that my mama's in the chat. Hey, who out here in social media land loves their mama? My mama is my best friend. She is my biggest fan, and she is absolutely amazing. Hey, mama, you see that service that puppy under there? That's a service dog. I need one of those. Let's get her done.
Kelly with an ace-3 handed on the button, pretty strong. Let's see if she raises this one up here. She is grabbing some calling chips there, so she wants to try to see a flop as cheap as possible. Matthew's going to complete, and we're going to family pot.
So here in about 3 or 4 minutes, if they're still playing, they're going to be heading to a break. We're going to be coloring up the 500s and introducing the 10,000s.
So to take down some of Kelly's towers.
Yep.
Kelly making a button bet here, and it's going to be able to get through. George has been slowly bleeding chips.
And you know he is super short stacked right now. But the problem is he's not out. A short stacked George is a dangerous George.
Oh yeah, he's probably more than any other players at the table that knows how to navigate tournaments, whether you're deep stacked or short stacked. Still a very dangerous player. George sitting just over 100,000 in chips to Matthew's 280 and Kelly's 320.
They're once again sharing a card, sharing the big card.
Yep, and Matthew with a very playable hand here. See if he just limps in. He does. So last couple of hands, we've seen a lot of limping, and which can be dangerous.
How about this? They all share the queen.
Well, there you go. So Matthew should be way in the lead, but to a flop, Kelly flops her second card best.
George's only hope is runner, runner, heart.
And no help there, so Matthew can still catch a jack, and that's about it. But Kelly's going to lead this out here and should wrap up the hand, and the chip stack gets larger.
338,000 and growing.
The players could be going on a break shortly. Looks like they're going to play at least one more hand.
During that break time, we will take a quick pause. We need a video. That's what we're going to build is a Kojak's video.
A compilation of
Yes.
hands. Well,
Either that or we can put our camera out front.
someday when I have the time to do something fun.
You don't have time? Psh, I've seen what you do. You just sit around all the time.
All the time. I just have a throne that I carry around and people come to me. That's what it is.
Kelly, Queen 10. Matthews going to defend it with 54. What famous sports player was number 54?
Lawrence Taylor was 54, wasn't he?
Yes, it was.
See? Sports guy.
Flop comes out 10-7-7. Kelly flops top pair, and she's going to bet. You see how quick bet folds pull back.
Yeah. One thing about Matthew has not thought very, very long on it. He's had a few spots, but the man is pretty decisive in his actions.
I like it. So, you know, when you raise the blinds, it's dealers if you've already begun the riffle, finish the hand drawn, and they go up.
Mhm.
I love it when the blinds are going up and the player in the big blind, he's throwing his chips out there. I got my chips in. I've got my chips in.
Oh, yeah. I like
You
that
can't
pattern.
raise them. Sorry, it's the riffle of the cards. It is the riffle of the cards.
When the dealer starts riffling or washing. I think it's washing, isn't it? Because they wash first.
I've always said the riffle.
Pretty sure it's washing. You have to look it up, Mr. TDA.
Uh-oh. So hand number 105, creeping closer to Basil's 1-teen, 7-6 versus ace 7.
Blinds are 2,000, 4,000, 4,000. The players will be going on a break shortly.
Just a quick little 10-minute one.
Yeah, I don't think they took the entire break, but either way, you will not miss a hand. We will scarf down our tacos as fast as we can during that break.
I'm rooting for King Jack this hand.
And you got a couple hearts shared in Kelly's hand.
And usually when you see this, you don't think any hearts are coming. This is always where 2 hearts come.
I don't know. Whitney didn't do it earlier when we had the ace versus the king high spades. And
Only 1.
kind of fails a little bit this time. Matthew flopping top pair best. Kelly with bottom pair. George gets out of the way.
She's got the calling chips, though. She's got the chips that get you in trouble, get other players in trouble.
And she does call, so she thinks she's looking for a heart or a 6 or a 4, but she does not need any of it. Decides to finally fold out as Matthew keeps on the pressure there.
You see Whitney looking up. She was trying to get another hand in before the break came.
And looks like we did get at least one more in.
George still sitting on some chips. He's not dead yet. About 100,000 in his stack. Oh, that's 80. Yeah, about 100,000.
George on the button, first to call the big blind. Lays it down. Kelly wakes up with an ace.
And it looks like this is break because look at George.
Yep.
He says,
I'm
I'll
out.
be back.
So the last hand before the quick break for these 3 players, 3-9-5. Gut shot wheel draw for Kelly and a lot of nothing for Matthew, but Kelly's going to go ahead and bet this out with her ace high, which is best. See if Matthew wants to float here. Does not. He chooses break over the hand here, and the players are on a quick break, and so we're going to take a quick break. Gonna eat really quickly. You will not miss a hand. We're at 3 players. We're going to play down to 2, so you won't miss a hand. We're not going to miss a hand. Stay tuned. I'll put a timer up there, but it's probably going to be before the timer, so don't go too far. And we're going to play this down to 2 winners to win $2,500 packages to Las Vegas to the Millionaire Maker event and $1,000 spending money.
They're playing for $1 million at least.
And we're going to eat some tacos as fast as we can, and we'll keep an eye on the stream, and we'll be right back.
See you in a few.
And you didn't miss a hand. If you're still tuned in, by the way.
And just like that, just like that, we killed some Taco Bell. I wasn't even done chewing.
Just a quick bite, quick break to take you guys to the final two. Could be any hand now. We just need one more elimination to go to the last two.
Eric Molina, 123. Basil, 117. Nancy, 150. Caleb, 180.
So 117 in the lead right now. Because it's, no, it's price or right style, right?
Yes, closest without going over.
Okay. So no one's winning right now. And when we get to 117, Basil will have 117 through 122.
Yep. And then Molina will have 123 through 149. Mama's got 150 through 179.
I like her. I like that. I think that'll be a good. I think that's the best guess.
Oh, George ripped it. Oh, nope.
Yeah, he did. And it goes fold.
He's a king of a short stack, so we've introduced a new chip in play, and we destroyed one of the chips in play. We took the 500s out of play, eliminated them, colored up some of the pinks, and so you see those new orange stacks. Kelly loathes the 10,000 chip.
I do too. And the only reason is because it's just not enough of a color difference. I'll be real. I like my chips to be very identifiable. But it is a $10,000 chip. So we have ones, fives, and tens in play. The blinds are 3,000, 5,000, 5,000.
Oh, I thought he was ripping it again.
But it's a pretty big bet given his chip stack. No,
Well, he's getting the cards to do it, too.
He did go all in, yeah. And I think that's what he needs to do for a little bit here. He has just crossed back over the $100,000 mark, whereas Matthew and Kelly are both over 300,000. Kelly at 320 and Matthew right at 300.
Well, you see, that's 13,000 chips every time he does that.
Oh yeah,
And it works every time except for the last time.
except for the last time. But it's definitely getting it time. 10,000 chips every big blind, which comes around every 3 hands. So moves need to be made.
Kelly folds her option.
Matthew going to complete here in a check by George. And when the cards catch up here, hopefully we get to see what they have. But we're going heads up to a flop. Saw an ace. It looks like a 9. Check. There's a 9.
First to bets, first to win.
A lot of nothing in both holdings.
The 8 plays.
The
Nobody wanted to show their cards.
8 does play.
7, 8, never stay up late. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah. Never saw it.
No, what?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to go ahead and pause the stream. We'll be back in, I think there's 10 of them now, so we'll be back in 30 hours. Man, how have you never... So the new ones, Jason versus Freddy and all those are the new Nightmare. Those are nothing on the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
I've never been a movie guy. I don't mind them. I promise I don't mind them. People say, oh, what's wrong with movies? There's nothing wrong with movies. I just don't have the time to watch them.
Speaking of people in the chat, Nancy, my mama, has watched every scary movie that I watched when I was a kid in the 80s. Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist, all the good ones. She was sitting right there next to me watching them. That's why she's the reason why I love them. 10-7 deuce on the flop. Nobody gets nothing.
Kelly looks like she was the one betting that out with her diamond draw, and it's going to get through without the diamond. I do remember, I think it was Poltergeist.
Oh, yes. Great movie. The remake, not so much in 2015, but the original, Steven Spielberg.
Is that the one with
the clown?
No, I guess I haven't seen it. I saw something. Which one was Carol Ann?
That was it. And
Okay.
it's got the, and
Yeah.
they're here.
That's the one I've seen.
Yes.
Of course, it's been 30 years, but I have seen that one.
Has anybody in the chat seen the original Poltergeist? Give me your scale, 1 to 10. How scary was it?
They remade it.
Oh, they remade it in 2015 and destroyed it.
Doesn't surprise me. Ace-8 for George, good enough to raise it up. Going to get through both players again, so we're going to be shuffling around these blinds. It's a good time to be aggressive, especially whenever you have the short stack. You need to pick up those blinds because they're coming around quick, and they're 10,000 chips a pop.
And George actually has something working for him with his aggression right now. Nobody wants to double him up because he's dangerous with chips.
No, not only is he dangerous, but both Kelly and Matthew have worked really hard to get where they're at. They've been very patient, made good laydowns, made good calls, and they do not want to give up those chips.
I thought after the first hand this was going to be a quick night for Kelly, all in first hand.
All in first hand, but that set the tone for her to be able to sit back and play some cards.
And she's been patient. She hasn't tried to make anything happen.
And I will say, for the most part, if at this final table, for the entirety of the final table, this last 3 hours, the best hands have done a good job of holding up.
Yep.
I don't recall many bad beats.
No, we saw the one misplay by Chris with the flop 2 pair against the set.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a misplay.
No, that just happens.
It's just a cooler. I mean, that's the worst played hand was a cooler, and it wasn't even a bad played hand. I mean, the cards played themselves.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a pretty solid course. They're playing for a fantastic prize, a $2,500 ticket to Las Vegas for the Millionaire Maker event, a first place guarantee of $1 million.
1 million?
1 million. So effectively,
What movie?
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He is officially not a movie buff if he doesn't know that $1 million. In the chat, go ahead, and while he's telling the story about this, in the chat, tell him what movie $1 million is off of. But you were saying about the $2,500 seat.
$1,500 ticket and $1,000 travel money to Las Vegas. Matthew has the best of this hand, but George has turned an open-ended straight draw. Going to come along. Now George is the one that bet it, and Matthew will come along with his bottom pair. And he's going to turn 2 pairs. So George, let's see if he tries to bluff this. It looks like he is. It's a small bet. And
just a call.
Yeah, George is going to play it pretty conservatively here. And going to show the 2 pair on the river. George's bet would have worked with any other river other than an ace or a 3, so I do not mind the bet 1 iota.
And I like that George was looking at his call to see what he was calling with on the flop and the turn. He didn't care about the cards. He was looking for information.
Jordan got it. He reminded me.
Atta baby Jordan. Austin Powers.
Shout out to Jordan in the chat. The 4th place finisher in 2 days tournament.
He's already headed to Vegas though.
Yep. Don't feel too bad for him. He's already won a ticket in the first May Vegas series we had. The Monster Stack event. Jordan was one of the ticket winners in that one, trying to get his 2nd ticket courtesy of Kojaks, and he still got one more chance, and so do you, to the main event.
I do?
I mean, I don't know if you do.
All right, Kelly looks down at King 10. Matthew with 96. Kelly raises it up, and Matthew just lets it go.
And we're going to have, starting this Thursday at 6 p.m., $200 is all it costs to get into a $12,000 first place package deal to the main event, the most prestigious tournament in poker. $10,000 entry fee plus $2,000 travel expenses for only $200.
4 flights. You can double, triple, and even quad bag if you're that lucky and take a massive stack to the final table. We had somebody triple bag in the last one.
Yep. Top 10% rounded up move forward to day 2, and you get to keep every bag that you get. Combine them all into day 2 to give yourself the biggest chance you can to get that ticket, a $12,000 ticket.
George is all in.
Yep. Any ace is good right now for him.
He's just hoping somebody does not wake up with a massive monster.
Well, and that's what it's really going to take, because at the end of the day, there's 3 players, and we're only taking 2 of them.
We are officially on hand number 117. Basil is down and out if it's not over on this hand. It looks like Mama may have picked it pretty good. Eric's got 123, though.
I like the 150. Matthew going to call him, but with Queen 9 offsuit. George completing the big blind with 10-8 offsuit. Kelly, Jack 9 suited. Thought about it for a half second. It looked like raising that up, but went ahead and checked her options. So we're going all three to a flop. 8, Queen, 4. Matthew, top pair.
Everybody gets a piece.
Kelly's got a gut shot. George is going to be the one to bet this out with the second pair. Matthew, unafraid. Obviously
He grabbed a
with the
stack.
Top pair. As I said, he's going to raise that up, and Kelly's going to defend. She's going to call for that gut shot.
She's looking for a 10 or a jack.
That 8 would have been good for George.
Just kidding. She's not looking for a jack. He's got the queen.
Yeah, she's needing a 10 and only a 10.
And look at that. George has no demeanor change.
No. He's not glaring at the dealer like Kelly did earlier. I still want that clip. I hope somebody clipped that.
Trust me, I'll find it.
Can't wait to show that to dealer Kevin.
He doesn't even know that she was staring at him like that.
No.
I mean, she was eating his soul.
That was
Black Widow.
Squinty-eyed and everything for turning that deuce after she folded. The winner in a pretty significant pot for those that missed it. Made the right laydown, bottom pair. No one's questioning that. It was just the bottom pair became trips.
Bottom pair became the massive hand.
And she was quietly and unknowing to him, letting him know.
And quietly murdering him.
how angry she was. Kelly, we can wake up with a real hand here. Is there going to be any kind of takers with it? Doesn't look like it.
The lady waking up with the ladies.
She's going to raise it up, and Matthew's going to let this one go. She'll pick up a round of blinds in the small blind, which is good to do. 3-handed with blinds going across this quickly to all the players.
So here's a
10,000
question.
pop.
Right there, when she just raised with queens, would it be smarter to, or not be smarter, would it be sneakier just to play coy and just complete? I mean, it can get you just much trouble. 9-8 can flop 2 pair 9-8.
I think you can only really do that when you have some action-oriented people that are more prone to raising it pre-flop, to where you're not going to let multiple players in, because any kind of pair, even aces, doesn't hold up well against 3 or 4 other hands. But if you have someone at your table that's raising a lot pre-flop, you can call raise a lot. Limp raise, limp jam. Matthew with the pair here is going to complete this, and George is going to check his option. We're going to go to a flop of 4, 5, 10. Jack on the turn is going to take the lead for George. Matthew's going to come along, though. Only 5,000 in chips. And king on the river, another scare card for Matthew here, so he may not lose too much more, and he does not. George bets it out again, and he lets the pocket sevens go. So some more much-needed chips for George. And it's still anybody's tournament. George is one good double up from being second in chips. 318,000 for Kelly, 309 for Matthew.
That stat next to George's name, though, he doesn't see that. We see that. Minus 194,500 chips.
Yeah, he's way down from when he started this final table. But he has been one of the most, aggressive and involved players. But being able to navigate the ups and downs is a skill in tournament play all in itself, which he has in abundance.
George with Motown makes the call.
Kelly 6-4 going to check her big blind option.
3-way to the flop. Flop comes out 7-6 ace.
Kelly going to flop the best of it here with the pair of sixes. And looks like it's going to check around to a turn. Kelly picks up 2 pair. Now she will need to bet, and George does have the open-ended.
Kelly does exactly what you said, leads out.
Yep, and it's a lot of money for George, but he is going to make the call. You got to gamble
8
just
outs.
a little bit. Yeah, he's any 3 or 8 will give him the straight and the check mark, and does not happen. So we're going to have check probably. No, Kelly's going to bet this 15,000. George has to fold, and so Kelly is going to knock George back down under 100,000 in chips with that 2 pair missed draw from George.
So George is not on life support, but is on life support.
Well, he's definitely capable. If if you give him chips. So neither one of these players want to give him any chips.
Kelly's working on her 7th tower.
She probably didn't want you to color up too many of those chips.
I like how Matthew has them spread out over
It's
2
all over the
seats.
place.
Yes. He says, you want to count on my chips? Look at these 2 seats. George, let's go. King 4.
Kelly in the small with Jack 6 off, so we're going to go ahead and give the walk to Matthew there. First walk we've seen in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going 3 ways to the flop the last few hands.
This shot started off as the George and Jordan show. They were the 2 chip leaders, and they were back and forth against each other.
Oh, yeah. George playing that massive, massive chip lead that he had headed into the final table. And Jordan unafraid of going against the chip leader, even though he was a second chips by a far margin himself. Got knocked down a little bit and then tightened it back up and played well to run it all the way down to 4th place. And now Kelly the first to act on the button with 3 deuce offsuit. And Matthew going to complete the big with his Jack 9 and 8-5 for George.
So this is Eric's hand right here. Eric Molina, hand number 1, 2, 3.
Can this be the last one? Will Eric win the 2 free hours? He can use it tonight. We got 2.
Well,
cash
it
games
can't be
going on.
because, well, I guess I was going to say George can't knock Matthew out, but Matthew can knock George out.
And Matthew's got the lead to do it right now. 9s. It's going to go check on the turn. Queen might freeze the action some. George has showdown value with his bottom pair. So it's going to be checked back, and those chips are going to head over to Matthew's chip stack.
76,000 now left in George's stack. So next up on the chopping block is Nancy. Mama has hand number 150, so let's see what happens there.
Yep, she's got 26 hands to do it in.
So I like numbers. I would have come in and I would have broken it down, and I would have done what they did on Price is Right, 149. So Mama may have to be coming to play some poker if she wins. If not, Caleb is going to be the winner. But what happens if everybody goes over?
Well, they can't.
No, what happens if it goes to 181?
Well, it's
Closest without going over.
So if it goes to 181.
Oh, the Caleb wins. Yeah, Caleb's got everything.
It's over the other direction.
I got you.
So-
Never mind. 5 deuce, 10-4, 10-4. 2 Roger that's.
But if it goes over 180, you're going to be finishing this by yourself.
No habla inglés.
I'm tired. Diamond draw for Matthew.
I'd like to see a 9 so we can have another wasted
We've
chop.
we got a double gutter there for Kelly.
And for George.
Yep.
He had 10-4 also.
Yep. And a 10 on the river. Split pot between George and Kelly to see if Kelly can find the call here. It's only 5,000 in chips. She may just look him up to see what he has. She raised it up, and George folded.
What a play by Kelly. I didn't know she had that in her purse.
Great play by Kelly. That was definitely unexpected. Had enough showdown value there, but little did I know she had raising value.
She said, this redness and this hair is ready to play. Came in with 40,000 chips, now sitting at 350,000 chips.
For sure, she has definitely had a spin up today. Started off on the very first hand. And like I said, setting the tone early, shaking off the nerves. George waking up with pocket 7s.
Oh, this is going to be it. All you can eat. I don't think he's going to get a call, though.
In and no one's coming along.
Plus 13,000.
Yep, so he's going to go ahead and pick up some much-needed blinds there.
Kevin's part in his hair, his colic, it looks like the Playboy bunny. Does it not? Now that you saw it, you can't unsee it.
I can see it. I can see it. All I can see is the ducktail Mahomes.
Oh, yes. Now, trust me, if I could do the ducktail, but I can't do any more of it. I can't do the top or anything.
Well, I can't do any of it, so I can't say anything.
I kind of wish I'd go bald on the sides, too.
It would save me a lot of time.
Yes.
Kelly on the button with 10-6 offsuit. Throwing that into the buck. Matthew with king 5 suited decides to defend his small blind. George going to check his option, and we're going to see a flop.
What a flop for
6,
George.
7, 8, 9, 10 for those counting at home. George flops the gin straight. And Matthew's got the bottom end open-ended, needing some running clubs. Pairs is 5, so that might save him some more cash.
George leads out, though.
Yeah, if Matthew calling anything when he makes the bottom pair in his hand is no longer as attractive. So George with some more much-needed chips.
So he's getting close to the 100,000 marker.
Yeah, Matthew just a shade under 300,000 now, and Kelly right under 350 with her few pickups there. 700 and what do we say, 35,000
Yep.
in chips. So and the blinds are 3,000, 5,000, 5,000. So moves need to be made. Only three-handed the blinds come across really quickly.
What is George's VPIP at?
69%.
All right.
He's been really aggressive today, and it's shown with his
Roller coaster. Yep. We both were saying the same word.
So George, the flush draw and second pair. Matthew whiffs and Kelly whiffs.
Flush is made
Yep, flush is theirs.
with the redraw at the nut flush draw.
So unless Kelly or Matthew decide to get creative, this hand should be over. Kelly does fold, and Matthew does fold.
That's a lot of flush draw. I mean, straight flush draws we've had today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jordan had the up and down straight flush draw.
Kelly looks like she's on cruise control. It looks like she's not going to make a mistake. She looks so calm right now.
Well, her and Matthew both have been really patient. Not taking out the betting lead very often without the best of it. Not putting their chips in behind very often.
Hand number 128 still on Nancy. Nancy, you're about to have to come play some poker with 2 free hours.
George folding a hand. Kelly decided to defend the small with queen 8. Matthew checking his option with the 9-5. 4, 7, ace.
What did George fold?
The winner.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Kelly with queen high makes a bet and pulls in the pot, increases another 10,000 onto her chip stack. She's moving up on back to 350. Oh, that's painful when you've only got, George is over the 100,000 chip marker again, but when you've only got 100,000 chips and you throw 10,000 out there, that's a tenth of your stack.
Yeah, he definitely needs to find a hand to double up here, and it'll be another game changer if he does with the chip stacks. Like I said, while there still is a pretty decent wide margin between him and Matthew, one double up, and they basically swap spots close to it.
Kelly's going to be folding the king 6. Oh, I thought she was going to make a liar and call.
I actually thought about it for a moment. George completes the small.
King 6, queen 6, 10 6. There's another one of those.
Another shared card between them all. 5, 3,
Monster.
9. Your hand is best.
Monster. Underrepresentative, underplayed. Everybody's got a straight draw.
George and Matthew both open-ended. George is the one to bet it out, and Matthew's going to come along. So not much is going to change in this pot unless a queen or a 10 hits the river. And it is the diamond that does come home.
Can Matthew call I was going to say, can Matthew call another bet, though? My favorite thing in 6 max poker is when queen high makes a call and is good.
And Matthew, like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, we are three-handed, and the hands are going pretty quickly, but I'm not seeing much aggression. I understand that George's hands are a little tied. You don't want to work very hard like Matthew and Kelly have done to earn these chip stacks.
But they're also not putting the pressure on him.
No, I would love to see some more pressure out of Matthew and Kelly, if only because George is such a good tournament player that he's paying attention.
Ship it.
He's paying attention to things like table image, and any sort of aggression out of Matthew and Kelly right now would be sending massive red flags to George.
Yep.
Because they have been playing so solidly.
Well, look at Matthew's pre-flop raise.
Oh yeah, well he's
Kelly's same thing, 15% and 23%.
yeah, and so I mean he's got a lot of fold equity on his all ins with proper sizing and jamming on these two who have shown the better part of discretion on their hands. I mean, he could be picking up some of these blinds and clawing back really easily.
Well, he's up to 104,000 now. We're on hand 131.
Like I said, in saying that is when I would like to see Kelly and or Matthew turn up the pressure meter because they have such a strong table image of playing premiums and only putting their money in best.
King Queen versus Jack 8. Oh,
Ooh.
that's the spot where you don't expect the person to have a king when two are on the. Oh
And
my gosh!
yeah, that's gonna
Check. How does it go? Oh my gosh!
Well, this is cooler here. Kelly fired it out, and Matthew min clicks it back.
And Kelly min clicks it back.
Did this three jack all in?
All in call.
Oh,
That's the
my-
tournament.
That's
the
it.
tournament.
That's it.
George just squeaked in.
Oh,
Look at Kelly's eyes.
I-
She's not even smiling. She doesn't realize it yet.
oh my goodness! Out of left field, a misstep.
It went check on the flop. Check. It went check on the turn. It went 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 all in. Call.
Oh no! How badly does Matthew want that one back?
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Kelly hid the kings.
No, I mean she three-handed flopping a three of a kind. I mean she, and then effective nuts on the river.
She hadn't even smiled yet. She doesn't realize
No,
it's over.
But it's like I said, barring any sort of
Nancy, you're our
small
winner.
miscount
Look at
there.
MJ. Look at MJ. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's a tough result. But if the counts that they updated during break are correct, that's it.
She still hadn't smiled. And there it is.
That's it. Okay.
Nancy Whittle is our winner. 2 free hours set in your account when
Yeah.
you're ready to come play some poker.
Kelly and George are the real winners of the $2,500 ticket to Vegas. Wow, I'm still processing that what just happened there. I was expecting a lot of moves being made and some coming up or coming down out of some of the chip stacks, but that was a very quick train wreck.
Look at this, MJ. George loved that. He absolutely 100% did.
Yeah, that's was very unexpected. But at the end of the day, congratulations to Kelly and George, the top two finishers of the $2,500 tournament entry and travel money to Las Vegas.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Not
It's
bad.
7 o'clock on the dot.
Is about a 3.5 hour final table. What a good little tournament. $150 entry.
Two people walking away with $2,500 in prizes.
$1,500 tickets into the Millionaire Maker event in Vegas at the end of June with $1,000 travel money. And, congratulations still to Matthew. He's still picking up $880 on a $150 entry tournament. That's still a good little return. Gives him a few bullets to shoot into the main event.
Four
bullets, because it's only a $200 tournament coming up this Thursday.
That's 4 bags that he can get for the main event.
And he could. I mean, he played fantastically. Like I said, it's just $200 to play in this main event satellite tournament. We gave away 2 tickets last week to the main event, $10,000 tickets plus 2,000 travel monies.
Because we're planning on
No.
stay all 14 days, so want to make sure they have enough for the hotels.
Hey, that's right. And like I said, good food tickets for me if I were to win it. But so this Thursday, man, I'm still processing that. That was quick.
That was crazy.
Okay.
That went check on the flop with trip kings, check with trip kings and 2 pair. Jackson 8.
Yeah.
And then on the river with another jack, it went bet 5,000.
Min bet.
Yes.
Min
Raised to
raise.
10, raised to 20.
Well, but yeah, I mean that's the train wrecks that happen in poker, and when you're three-handed, coolers can happen just as they happen to the rest of us. So at the end of the day, still, congratulations to Kelly. Congratulations to George. They are winners of the $2,500 tickets to Vegas, $1,500 tickets into the Millionaire Maker, $1,000 travel money. And we want to see you here. Start Thursday at 6 p.m. is Flight A of our $200 satellite into the main event, World Series of Poker, world's premier poker tournament, getting to Vegas with $2,000 travel money and a $10,000 seat for only $200.
Head out to Kojak's and become part of a legacy, part of history. The World Series is here, and it's time to qualify.
Yep, and we have sent 2 more to Vegas, and I hope to send 2 more this coming weekend.
Oh, we'll
So-
send 3.
These things.
My answer is always 1 extra.
Well, for every $12,000 in the prize pool, we'll have another ticket to Vegas waiting for those top 1 or 2 or 3 winners.
That sounds good. We'll see you
So-
next week, guys.
Appreciate it, guys. Send us a message on Facebook if you have any questions. Keep an eye on Facebook for the flight updates, everything else. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 flights on Saturday, 4 flights total, $200 main event ticket, and everything else we have coming up in June we'll be putting out here pretty quick, and hope to see you guys here at Kojak's.
Please come.